Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to EGL One. My name is HellBird. I'm joined by notAhero, and we have another cracker down in the lower bracket. Gonna be Punx versus Aura, which is a very interesting one for me. I'm very curious about how these two sides are going to perform. We've got a little bit of intel about their previous performances. Punx has won the last 4 encounters, but the last one was a 2-1 victory, not as streamlined as may have been before. Of course, I'm joined by notAhero this evening. notAhero, welcome to the broadcast.
Oh, happy to be here. Excited for the match tonight. Something more notable that we need to speak about is Punx might have had the upper hand in the past few games against them, but Aura is just coming off a win against WRG, which no one expected.
Yeah, so I was going to get there, but sure, let's jump straight into it. I mean, they really were expected to have gone home, and we've been saying this a lot about this tournament so far. But in the end,
it was clinical though. It was so good. They drafted well. They executed the last game. WRG backs against the wall. They kind of went, okay, well, we're going to give RDK Naga Siren, and Aura Gaming just instantly responds with the Brewmaster and just makes RDK's life a living nightmare.
I mean, they looked really good. And from that perspective, I just want to point out that they're going up against Punx, right? And Punx are effectively the 4th seed. And if you look at WRG, they came in at 8 or something like that. But it's not really a real assessment of the situation, because they were actually they dropped out of the tournament a little bit early. So they forfeit out. So they could have been the team that qualified in that 5th spot over Duck, potentially. But also, they were also in contention. I mean, I remember when we were behind the scenes talking about teams and figuring out who would be the invitational side, etc. WRG is the side that was just outside of that window. They were in contention up until the last minute. Was okay, it's going to go to Punx. But that's a pretty big statement, because, well, now they have Punx. And you said it last time about how, hey, Punx are WRG are the team that they need to test themselves. They're the team they have to beat tonight, and that's when they're going to prove that
the gatekeepers.
Yeah, but now it just feels like this is the natural progression, right? If you're going to go from WRG, the next team you want to beat is probably
we spoke about stepping stones. WRG was the first one, and then climbing this ladder, Punx is probably the next one to establish themselves as one of the bigger teams in the country. So they have to go through these phases, and if they draft like they did against WRG, and they play like they did against WRG, but Punx knows this though. Let's not joke. Punx watched that game, how Aura beat WRG. So they're not gonna come into this about we've beaten them 4 times this year already. It's gonna be an easy game. That's not gonna happen, because a team doesn't just beat WRG and then the next round you take them lightly. So
no, agreed. But fortunately, we're going to get a little extra insight into these teams, because somebody who knows them particularly well is in fact joining us this evening. And you might be surprised to hear his voice, but welcome, Castaway. Great to have you.
Hello. Thanks for having me, guys.
I couldn't wait to get you on, actually, because I think that in a big way, one of the topics we spoke about a lot going into this tournament, but maybe quiet down just a little bit about, was regarding what some of the bigger teams did. And that, of course, I'm referring to offering coaching to the sides that qualified, etc. And we haven't really spoken too much, but now we've actually seen in action what some of that coaching has done. And I'm not necessarily saying that it's all because of you, Castaway, but we can't give you all the credit, right?
All the teams that I coached have already been knocked out. So,
so definitely, if you have to pick between notAhero and Castaway as your coach, you're going to go with Castaway. Listen, a joke aside, obviously, I do think that there's definitely something to be said about the fact that these sides are looking really good, and they definitely have improved since tournament started. And whether it be the opportunity to play against better competition or it's the coaching, something is definitely in the water here at EGL One. And I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on how a particular side that you're involved with, I believe, Aura, how that's all been working out from behind the scenes.
Yeah, so Aura actually contacted me quite a while ago, a few months ago, to get some coaching, and they wanted to take it seriously. They wanted to really become a top contender. And I told them listen, guys, from your current ranks and the current skill, in my opinion, this is going to be a long-term project. And they buckled down. They really started working hard. And EGL came around, and then they ended up saying, hey, we wanna do well in this, and like, can you coach us again? So I coached them again, and yeah, their rosters changed a bit, but yeah, they played some pretty good Dota, so it was cool. And like, just to see like individually the players in the team getting better and improving, and then coming together as a unit and also playing better, like you guys said, that WRG series. I mean, some of the team fights, like stuff that we've been working on, and like just something as simple as clicking your spells together, that's like so overlooked. They did super well in that series, like especially the Brewmaster, like always clearing the Naga Siren illusions.
Lightning on that brew was spot on. Like the moment RDK showed up to any of these fights, he instantly had the Wind Panda on top of it. Like purged it. Like you could see, like RDK was even flustered at one stage because he songed and TP'd right in front of a Green Panda.
And not knowing that it's got magic.
Just getting stunned by it. Like it was really good. Like the draft, I think it was an outdraft, like from the get go, but they also executed it very well.
Yeah, and I mean, I think like how I view, like, no offense, WRG as a team at the moment, or like at least the past like few months, is like they seem, obviously I don't know about their scrum schedules, but they seem like they're slacked off a bit in terms of their like the quote unquote caring about the lower teams. Like the way they drafted against Aura, I think that was just disrespectful. Like you can't just pick Naga and then like have like no counter for Brew, and like they're just building like these random items and stuff. And like when I was watching, I was like, Aura can really do this, like I think WRG are playing sloppily, and then they just like they beat them. And same thing with another team that I coached, Hayes Gaming. They beat Punx. I think it was in EGL.
Pingu.
Oh, they beat Pingu. Sorry, and it's like, it's crazy, like these teams that are coming out of nowhere. Like my friend Ben in Hayes, like he was like, oh, we're playing against Pingu, I don't think we can do it. They 2-1 them, and like they couldn't believe it. Like
convincingly 2-1.
Yeah, it's really
the one
possible.
game that Pingu won was a hard one, but once again, like the 2 games that they won, they outdrafted and then they outplayed.
Yeah, and it's so cool because, like, I'll be honest, when I started this coaching thing with Schlinks, like he was the one who really like came to me the one day and was like, we can coach these teams, we can help them, hashtag stop the division, because you really don't want there to be this quote unquote division in ZA Dota that some teams can't play against other teams or whatever. And we ended up coaching teams, and I thought, I don't really know where this is going to lead. It's really hard to improve linearly in Dota, like just get coaching, get better, lol. But like it really clicked for some teams that I coached.
Yeah,
and it was so cool to see.
If you find a group of players that are coachable, your impact will definitely stick with them, and which we've seen from 2 teams that you've been involved with. Like,
so yeah, I'm just glad to be like being able to help the team firstly, and also shout out to EGL for hosting an event like this that had some good traction, and it's been great to watch, and thanks for casting guys as well. It's been awesome. But it's cool to see like these lesser known teams coming up, playing these tournaments, getting involved, improving. It's awesome. It's exactly what our scene needs.
So, go Albert.
Yeah, I was going to just on that note. I mean, obviously, to bring things back home to what we're actually doing here, Punx obviously taking Aura Gaming this evening. I've been calling these guys the Wolves because I don't think I've ever seen a low bracket like this. I was counting the numbers the last time we were here, just the knockouts, like 16 beating 6 and 12 beating 7 and 14 beating 8. All these like seeding numbers that are often the subject of, wow, we throw back and we think of any one of these moments. That was such an amazing thing for this tournament where we got to see like the growth of some teams and these upsets. We always love to see upsets in tournament, but it's so weird to see so many of these upsets when you just look at these numbers. But this brings us to another opportunity for one, because we could potentially see 14 beat 4, which would be crazy, right? But I'm curious now, you play against Punx, the players, I imagine, fairly well, and obviously your engagement with Aura means you would be intimately familiar with this side. How do you feel this match is going to go?
I'm in 2 minds about it. I think if Aura draft like they did against WRG and they hit their stride and they don't tilt, because I know them pretty well, like they sometimes fight a bit in game and they get pretty tilted, like in the WhatsApp after the game they'll be like, guys, just heads up, don't worry about this, don't worry about that. If that doesn't happen and they actually came to like play some Dota 2, then yeah, they can definitely take it. I think it'll probably be a 2-1 either way.
But these types of games make it easier for teams like that, because they're probably not going into this expecting to win like the WRG series. And then when shit goes wrong, you probably like just take it with a pinch of salt, because we were kind of You're still going to play to your best ability, but the pressure is less.
Probably. But yeah, I think as well, in terms of like ease of execution, Punx definitely, you know, like on paper, just the stronger side. So I think it's always about when you're the weaker team coming in or the less known team, you need to like sort of mix things up, take the strong team out of their comfort zone, you know. Otherwise, they're just gonna rinse and repeat and do whatever. So I hope they come with more of these like brewmaster type heroes and really like bring the team fight to Punx and really like take hold of the game that way, because I think that's like their biggest strength so far that we've seen.
Okay. Well, anyways, we're actually about to go live into this game, so I'm gonna pin you against the wall, Castaway. You got to give us a prediction on this one before we go. What's the final scoreline going to be? You got to commit to one.
2-1 to Aura for sure.
You know, I must say I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold against you if it doesn't end up that way, because obviously I think there's also you kind of have to back your boys, right? So I'm glad to see it, but at the same time, I'm going to say I don't think it would be so far the realm of reason if Aura Gaming take this. I know I'm throwing a little bit towards what's yet to come, but we do have the DUC Frostbite matchup. And I was actually talking to Crimson Tide recently. I was saying, look, dude, I don't actually think this is going to be as easy as it was last time. We beat them 2-0 last time in convincing fashion, but it looks like a different Frostbite Esports. And I remember casting some of the Aura matches back in the qualifiers. I remember watching some of their matches, and they didn't look the same when I was, you know, enjoying my holiday and watching them beat WRG. So I do think that, you know, Punx are going to have to take them real seriously. But with that said, I've been talking about the Wolves in the lower bracket, and there's one name right now. There's one name in the section that's still the current round we're in, round 3. There's one that isn't a wolf, right? It's a pig, right? And it kind of belongs here, right? This is its space. This is where it's meant to be, right? Like, Punx are a team that would feel like they are the dominant force down here in the bracket at the moment. They're waiting for, you know, other sides like like XD, and I mean, there you go, right? Like I'm almost like designed to say it, right? But like XD, Energy, and Since 5, those are the guys they're waiting for. Pingu, well, they're also gone, right? But Punx, this is the team that's got to almost set things back, right? Make things normal again. Knock out some of these wolves. Have some, you know, make sure that the big bad wolf goes hungry. But I think in that own right, almost put some extra pressure on them. So, still favorites. I think we all agree, if we're totally honest, but I wouldn't be too surprised for it taken. We're actually right in the toss. So, whilst we still have Castaway here, Castaway, any other, you know, maybe shout outs, any admin you want to get out the way before we go?
Well, yeah, just shout out to our fans and our haters. You keep us going for sure. Yeah, shout out to our sponsors at Sin 5. Can't remember all of them, but yeah. Shout out to
so
them.
many that you can't remember all of them.
Yeah, they're just rolling in by the day. It's a bit difficult. But yeah, and shout out again to EveTech and yeah, for hosting such a cool tournament. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Anyways, we're live. So we're gonna shoo you. We're gonna say thank you for being here. Really do appreciate your time. If you're joining in the stream, you missed out because we had Castaway on the channel with us. Always great to have him. Really, I don't know, like he's a true lover of Dota, and he seems to have a lot of passion for South African Dota in particular. Even though he's had success overseas, he comes back home, right? So always great to have him. But now there are 10 other players that we need to worry about. The 10 players who will decide tonight's events, who's going to win, how it's going to work out. And I tell you what, you're in the right place if you want to enjoy some Dota right now. Okay, let's get stuck in. Draft is live. Timbersaw and Winter Wyvern banned out so far by Punx and Aura respectively, and a couple there to go. I'm just going to say that I still want to favor Aura's flag over Punx. Now, with that out the way, let's get stuck into serious stuff. Mars also banned out. What are your expectations here, not here?
Punx is kind of like putting like a template down already for what they want to do. So they're probably going to be looking at like some strength cores. So in the pro scene, it's obviously like a lot of Dragonites, a lot of Doom is coming out, and then from the safe lane perspective, we've seen some Sven coming back, all these types of heroes. So that Timbersaw ban is kind of indicating, I'm assuming Dragonite or Doom lanes. I do think Punx is a team that copies the European meta quite effectively. Check out the Axe as well. So that's another one where we didn't speak about, like that I didn't mention, but Axe we saw it on Tuesday night. It was pretty effective. So Timbersaw taken out, Axe taken out, and then the response is Winter Wyvern and Mars. So Mars is Mars has died down a little bit over the last week or so from the teams playing, but in the qualifiers and early stage of this tournament, he was almost every game hero, wasn't he, HellBird?
Yeah, he was. I think it was in a very good space. But what I find particularly interesting about that is it feels like the homework is being done from the side of Aura, because
Punx is going to do Dragonite Lion straight away. They should do DK Lion.
Well, I just wanted to say that of the current Punx hero pool at the moment, their most played actually happens to be, well, some of the most played is Winter Wyvern and Mars. So the fact that they ban out those two, I'm not too surprised. And in fact, DK and Lion, well, I was going to say, not actually featuring that much for the Punx roster at the moment. So that's an interesting one to me, and I feel like Aura just really doing their homework on the teams that they're playing up against. Snap up the hoodwink for themselves. That's something that I think that they like to go to, or also one of their biggest hitters.
This opener by Punx is very surprising. Like Viper plus Nyx Assassin. So the reason I'm finding it surprising is because Viper is not a hero that's going to get banned. You could have opened with Nyx plus something else, and then still pick Viper later in your draft if you do want it, because I really don't see teams banning Viper in the first or the second phase. Maybe as a last ban if you're having multiple heroes that relies on the break mechanic or not being broken. So the picking Viper as your first pick is a little bit weird. And the hero is only being played in two positions at the moment. It's either mid or off lane.
And I wanted to say on that note is that also, if you're looking for a break, sure, maybe you really want a break in your team. There's still the Doom, right? So it's not like you're in a situation where you desperately needed to get something. You could have still gone for the Doom if you needed. And as you're mentioning the roles, Viper and Doom, in a way, I guess, laning-wise, they're interchangeable, right?
Yeah, so Doom's break obviously comes on much later in the game, but that's kind of when you need it. So he has to build an acceptor for it to actually break. And they respond with a Drow. Your second pick Drow Ranger. I don't know. Or did you pick Drow in that previous series? Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're assuming this Viper is a pos 3, and that kind of means that there's no real like in-your-face type of offlaner like we've seen from like multiple other teams like the Axes, the Mars, those types of heroes that get on top of you. Viper is gonna go Rod of Atos probably into Boots of Travel, and he's never gonna be able to, like later in the game, be on top of this Drow. Whether it's going to be a mid or 3. So not the worst pick. I do think there is better carries, but I guess with the Hoodwink there's a little bit of synergy as well. You can lock people down, blow them up, silence afterwards. We did see some weird mechanics at the last major where if Hoodwink shackles someone to a tree or bushwhacks someone to a tree and Drow Ranger silences them, it breaks the tree and then they're unstunned. So a little bit of a interchangeable mechanic there, which is not too beneficial. We do then see Spectre taken out, Clockwork taken out, Invoker, and Lina. Remaining. So, Lina banned? I don't know.
Well, the Invoker one's a clever one, because they do pick up a lot of Invoker through Aura, so...
Yeah, but the Lina ban is strange, because being Lina, Hoodwink, and Drow Ranger in the same draft, your draft is extremely squishy, and you don't really have a solid way of starting fights. And Nyx is good against Lina, whether she's a mid or a pos 4, which we do sometimes see, but I think Nyx is extremely good against that hero.
Well, and Nyx is good against Drow as well. That's the weird thing for me. That's the big question for me, is that you need something to track down a Drow Ranger, right? Like it almost... A lot of people think about a sniper and they, wow, we really need something to get on top of it, but that's exactly the same for a Drow. Obviously, it's almost easier to do because it doesn't have as high range and suffers with mobility as well, but it's got the gust, so whatever. But the point is, Nyx is a hero that once it gets into a Drow, it does work, and it hurts Drow as well. I mean,
I do agree, but you can obviously preemptively set up for that with like a sentry or something, and then that Nyx is kind of just food. So it does go both ways. If you could just see him coming with a sentry, because Nyx now at the moment they're going like Earn into Ags, but in a game like this I think you'll have to go like Blink Dagger into Ags. So they do then respond with a Lich pick. Oof, it's a lot of like damage over time, tankiness. Like Viper with Frost Armor is pretty ew. Like even Nyx with Frost Armor, that's a little bit of a combo. But why would you go for the next pick straight up here? I don't see. Are they going for a lane combo with it? Okay, but they picked the Lich and then Juggernaut has been banned. So that classic combo is gone. And then they pick up an Undying. So this I like. Earlier in the year, Dying plus Drow together had an extremely high win rate because Undying provides her with sustain in the lane. And then he can also like heal her up. But seen some teams mess this combo up. Because if you go this lane combo, you go 1 level of DK and 2 levels of Soul Rip. You only level Tombstone at level 4. Like, you do not take max Tombstone in the lane. You max Soul Rip. Because you can sustain the Drow Ranger. So, if he goes for the max Soul Rip build or 3 levels of Soul Rip, I think it's good with the Drow Ranger in the lane. They've got a lot of burst. They've got, like, nukes. Not nuke from the Soul Rip, but, like, Drow Ranger as well. She climbs on top of the DK targets and just kind of, like, chips them down and Undying nukes them. But this Ursa pick was good. It's a hero... Because Ursas now are going Diffusal into like a Blink and then Basher and stuff later on. They're not going for this Battle Fury anymore. So it's another hero that can close the gap and get on top of the Drow Ranger. And it's pretty good against the Tombstone.
Oh, fair point. And it's with the Lich as well, once again. Frost Armor's got a lot of like very valuable targets that they're pretty happy with it. Okay, I'm going to the Brew again. I mean, it definitely worked out against WG. I don't see anything. I mean, I guess...
It's good against
Ursa. Yeah, I was gonna say you can control the Ursa for.
You can also purge
the... man.
You can also purge the Frost Shield and Fury Swipes.
Not,
not Fury Swipes. What's the one that gives them attack speed? Fury Swipes.
Yeah, Fury Swipes. I think I always get them confused. For Overpower and Fury Swipes always confuse me. But
So
those two, yeah.
The Wind Panda can purge. I don't think you even care about purging the Ursa. You can just put them in the air, but you can definitely purge off the Frost Armor. So that is something, and then you can just like control this Ursa the entire team fight.
What's interesting as well is that he might force the Ursa to have to commit his ulti early, because obviously that status resistance is significant. Against something like a Panda, like man, is it significant, but you don't want to use it early in the fight.
Timings at the moment, they've got really big timings because you can't do anything on the map really without Tombstone and Panda split. I guess if Hoodwink catches like a sneaky bushwhack with a bursty type of hero from the mid laner, I'm not sure what it's going to be. They can kill something, but at the moment, they like team fight coordination is based on Tombstone and Panda split. I don't think they can take fights without those spells.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because I see the Puck banned out now. I was thinking, you know what they need is a playmaker. They need something that's going to create space and also start fights really, because even something like a Brew, like you can start fights with it. Like, you know, definitely a hero that can get in your face early, just split and then start fighting and buy some time, things like Undying, etc. Get on top of it. But it's not like the best in the game by a long shot. You're not going to get a huge amount of value out of a good engagement with a Brew versus something like a Puck. You know, you get a massive Dream Call if everything is sat down and you can just play as much as you will, opposed to, like I said, handy initiator with Brew, but not like a Puck type thing. So the Puck ban is pretty solid in my opinion.
They need a little bit of burst. So you see the Puck taken out, like you said, it provides them with additional catch and some burst, and then Ember Spirit kind of does the same thing. Origami take out Storm Spirit because they have no real stuns at all. Because Bushwhack, but that's not a reliable stun. But they have no stuns at all, apart from the Panda split, and then he's got the Boulder.
So is evasive, because I feel like honestly they make a very good point. Because I wasn't going there, but now that you've mentioned it, I think if you're Punx, just pick anything that is evasive. Just, I don't know, PL mid. Let's go.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm not too sure. Oof. And they've got last pick, so they can think about it for a bit. But yeah, Aura needs a little bit of something like bursty. They need something with a little bit of reach and burst.
Cop not so much an initiator per se, but can catch things at the very least and has that burst you're looking for.
I'm thinking, what would I pick here? It's yeah, they only had 7 seconds left. They also struggling. Wind Ranger. Okay, that's kind of like burst, kind of catch. So, and it's a hero that benefits from
magic damage.
Yeah, and it's a hero that benefits from the Drow Ranger. So, also Ursa can't just kill her, but once again, Nyx can hurt Wind Ranger pretty significantly. You can always carapace a power shot, etc., etc. And they can also put this Viper middle now. I think Viper Wind matchup, if the Wind is not accustomed to it, she takes a bit of punishment. But if He's played that matchup before from Omen. I think he'll be fine. So, if they decide to put the Viper middle.
Well, we're gonna answer that. They're not. They are definitely not. It's your boy Shadow Fiend. I like it. I don't know why, but I'm feeling good for an SFG. I don't know if it's the best pick, but I just feel it feels good. I feel like
both teams have one stun. I don't think I've ever seen that. Like you've got Nyx. I guess Lich grab is kind of a disable, but
don't be mean to Sinister Gaze, especially when there's nothing to disable it. You know, okay, that's a lie. They have the gust, but I tell you what, I know how this game goes, right? So we'll call this one quick, right? All we'll do is each team rushes to buy 5 4-staffs, and the team who gets 5 4-staffs first wins. There you go. All right. Anyways, enough of my nonsense. A little bit of a reminder to those of you who are watching in game. If you're a fan of Punx, you're a fan of Aura, maybe you're just a fan of Dota, make sure you join us on the Evesports YouTube channel. You can find it by going onto YouTube and just searching for Evesports. Easiest way, you'll find us live. And of course, tonight, as with every night at EGL One, we'll be giving away some fantastic goodies. And it is, of course, the thing I have news that we actually get one out. So I'm not as jealous anymore, but you can join us, notAhero and I, as we eventually will don our own EGL One shirts, as that's what we're giving away this evening. Of course, that draw will only be live later, so it's a little bit of a heads up. In the meanwhile, you can join us. What you think of the draft, think of the game, and of course, who has the better hairline. Spoiler alert, it's not me. But anyways, it's become tradition now. They have to make some sort of caster reference, right? Leave me alone. Leave me alone and your luscious hairline.
No. I'm just gonna not say anything about that. Let's get into this game. So let's see the laning phase quickly here. Like this is gonna be interesting. So you're gonna have it will definitely be Drow with Undying. It's a pretty strong combo. But then you have Viper and Nyx, which can do some damage as well. I don't think Drow and Undying is going to kill this lane, but they should definitely able to sustain it. And on the other side of the map, we've got Brewmaster plus Hoodwink, which I like that. It's a little like mini combo into Ursa and Lich. So Ursa likes staying on top of you, especially like Ursa's take the Earthshock level 1. Brewmasters tend to Thunderclap level 1 standard. It secures your range creep, and laning phase is going to be strange. I think the mid matchup is going to be the more significant one, because I think both teams are going to be able to trade quite evenly in the laning phase.
Alright, well, I mean, I guess that means that whoever comes out the laning phase first is going to have the advantage, I guess? I mean, obviously, but like, it seems like that'll be significant if the laning phase is the 50-50 mark, right? Like, I mean, how does it relate to the mid game? Is it? I assume that in a way that makes the mid game the same, or I don't know.
So Aura's draft is kind of strange because they've got 3 heroes that don't really rely that much on net worth, and that's Hoodwink, Brewmaster, and Undying. These are 3 heroes that with significant levels can do a lot of damage on the map. With Brewmaster, you just need your Panda ulti, and Undying, like later on, higher levels of Tombstone, placing the Tombstone in the correct spots, and then obviously Hoodwink with her tool set as well. Is heroes that benefit from significant like spell usage and not necessarily items as much. So I think if they don't fall behind on XP too much, they'll be fine. But you're playing into a Ursa Shadow Fiend, which Shadow Fiend will be the flash farmer in this lineup, and then your Ursa will be more the tempo hero. But Jace will have to have a big game on this Nyx Assassin, because he is kind of the entire draft's tempo. And if he doesn't, then I think Aura Gaming can actually run into team fights.
Just on that note, actually, I really do kind of hope that this is like a more aggressive build on the SF. You know, like I'm thinking sort of the it's posted like an outright farming. Oh, actually, Psycho got right on top of. I forget this. What is the sign again? Let's get the wrong way around. It's not Omega. It's the Om sign or something like that. It's not the Om sign. What is the sign? It's Omen. Okay, right, good.
Well, what were you about to call him? Just Stephanie?
No, we've already used that one up. Would probably be like, I don't know. We'll pick another mythological creature.
Yeah, I went to watch the EGL highlights, and like 2 minutes into the EGL highlights, you just go, just Stephanie.
I know what it is. I know what it is, by the way. Because I met him. We had a chat. Sorry, top lane. We might actually have your first blood here, as a lot of damage is coming out to the Undying. He's trying to actually turn this one around, and it's in another lane. Never mind. So that is going to be your first blood, your second blood, and your third blood, all happening back to back to back. But it was, in fact, the Wind Ranger went down mid first. That is huge, though.
How? I wasn't watching that. How did that happen? He's got 1 level of raise and 2 levels of the aura. So
I noticed they were playing very aggressively in the mid lane. In fact, Omen kept getting like right on top of him, and he probably just was like, okay, well, I guess I'll hit you with my medium raise,
this bonus per stack on the razors is a dumb mechanic. I know Shadowfiend wasn't played for a very long time, and this is kind of why he's viable again. But it's 50 bonus damage per raise, level 1. You can do an additional 150 damage.
And so like, you can see here again, like look at the aggressions coming out. He doesn't quite have the damage this time around, but he is bullying this mid lane at the moment. This is a problem, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, but Persephone, we were talking about Persephone. I just want to tell you, I know his name now. It's Y. It's Y. I wish I could tell you that it's thing. He says he's an Arteezy fan, and apparently this makes sense, but it's definitely Persephone forever now, because I'm not going with Y. Bottom lane, Lightning in a bit of trouble. He's got some help coming from Miriam though. And they will re-engage onto Nemi. Wonder if they have enough damage out to. Of course, Lightning has to be very respectful, not too keen to get back in on that fight. And Miriam's going to have to settle for just giving a couple of tickles on his way up. But top lane, again, we're going to find another kill. This time it's going to go the way of Aura, as Jace wants to finish down Chad. They're going to make their way into the woodworks, and they're trying to get a little bit of range between the Drow Ranger and the Nyx. He's actually gone up the highway, and by the way, just taking a look at the Undying build, they are going for the more standard Decay build, and they've managed to corner Jace here. He does get off a Spike Carapace, going to slow things down. The Gust comes off before the Impale. They're slowing him down, but they're going to need another hit or two if they can get this kill. Molly Shock flies through, but it's not going to be enough, and in comes Gambino, so that'll be the end of that.
Look at this creep wave, because it doubled up now on the time frame that it was chasing Jace. So 3 range creeps for Viper, like after he's respawned and got him back to lane, he's pretty happy about this. Like none of his creeps died to tower. He's gonna get all this XP. That is actually very significant, because he would have been a full level behind the Drow if he didn't do that. I know he was just trying to stay alive and juke for his life, but it worked out.
Oh, hold on. So they're working out again for Aura. At the moment, they find a nibbling monkey who actually was trying to make his way to support the Shadowfiend, but he goes down effectively for free as he found more than he bargained for. As Myriad also made that same rotation. So 2-3 at the moment. Slight lead in net worth going the way of Punx, but the game is fairly close. There is still a little bit of interest towards the mid lane here. Is low on HP, low on mana, and this means they're going to bring in the Undying once more to help him out, maybe just to secure some runes. But he's going to have to settle for the bounty rune, because he does have the bottle, but he's just working with so little. He is bringing in boots, but he's got 15 CS for 5 minutes. It's not where you want to be, and boots, mantle of intelligence.
Doubling him.
Yeah,
doubling him.
And this is before the flash farming.
Yeah, this is okay. So I would say like probably like 10 of the Shadowfiend CS is like the side camp, or like 5 or 6 of it. But this Wind Ranger is definitely like level 6 to level 4, and this was their last pick. I know Punx had the overall last pick, and they last picked the Shadowfiend, but this matchup shouldn't be this rough. Wind Ranger doesn't have a wand, doesn't have a raindrop. Oh wait, top goes down and dying.
Again, this has been the action lane, if you will. A lot of kills coming this way, and Jace wants to make sure it remains eventful, playing to the ward behind the tier 1 tower, so you can see every rotation, every little bit of a movement, and every courier. I'm sure he'll want to steal one of those as well. notAhero, the master of courier sniping, that will tell you that that's not good enough to be further back. You want to make sure you get your couriers.
No, it needs to like be like right in front of the. I don't think this is.
Don't give away our secrets. Our puppy secrets that are giving away.
It's not necessarily. This is not necessarily a career award. This is kind of to see if someone TP's an award.
Agreed.
And also to see if he's pulling the creeps. So, because otherwise it needs to be like in front of the tier 2 or behind it even.
Bottom lane though, it looks like Nemi wants a piece of lightning. He's going to go in with that frost armor. Hard kill regardless. He managed to make his way out of the tree line, and he'll be fine in the end. Obviously, they do bring in their own rotation again though from Miri, who's been very roamy. Let's call him that.
Drow is also kind of struggling on the CS. She's only sitting on 16 CS. Ursa is approaching close to. Does he have 30 yet? Yeah, he's got
Hold that
30.
thought,
Oh,
top
they're
lane.
going
Jace
again.
in trouble here, but he's getting the support he needs. Miriam comes in,
Okay.
and they actually want to bring down the fight. A lot of damage onto Gambino, and they'll finish the job. They haven't been able to kill Pezbot though. Jace still desperate for this kill, but unfortunately for him, he's probably just going to sacrifice his own line. Miriam and Chad, because he's running him down. They're both two fairly pacey heroes, and they do have a couple of stuns at their disposal. It's going to be the Acorn shot that finishes the job. And Miriam, in fact, was it an Acorn shot? It's a regular right click, but Miriam will finish the job. And bottom lane.
No, I don't like the skill build on Pezbot. We spoke about this in the draft. Like, he went 2 levels of DK.
Bottom lane lightning in trouble here. He may just be brought down. They need an extra shot on him, and that Frost Blast is going to be more than enough in the end just to wane him down. And unfortunately for him, at the moment that rotation came in from Miriam, they were very, very happy to pick up lightning in the bottom lane. Sorry, notAhero, you were saying.
So Pezbot went for level 2 DK on Undying, and I don't like this because it steals the same amount of strength, and it actually costs more mana, and the only benefit is it reduces the cooldown. Yeah, it does 30 more damage, but like Undying's put 2 levels into Soul Rip because that's your damage spell and your healing spell. 1 level of DK until like mid game is more than enough. He kind of like hurts himself with these 2 levels of DK because now they can't heal up more efficiently, they can't pressure with a higher level tombstone, and top tower is going down as well.
Yeah, this is troublesome times. I love the play. They take the top tower and they immediately smoke up. So looks like they're not done with this rotation just yet. They're going to start making their way towards the mid lane. And you can see this is the mighty trio on the map at the moment. And Nibbling Monkey, okay, just be part of it, right? But 2 of the highest net worth in the batch at the moment are smoked up. And looks like Psycho is going to give up. I thought he's going to just go back to farming. But mid lane definitely going to be under pressure. With Gambino and Nibbling Monkey still holding up that smoke. And they're going to give up in a moment. Does mean that Punx are on the front foot in the mid lane, and looks like they might.
The wind.
Yeah, she gets off a decent shackle shot there, and there might be enough damage there. Actually, T-Lit's just giving up, like, guys, my bad. As most of the damage came to the tower.
I made a mistake.
This was the whole position of shape. Yeah. So at the moment, this time he has actually once again really struggled for farm. I mean, looking at his items, there's just nothing in it. He's got the DD up, and he doesn't seem like much of a threat. I mean, the 1 kill he does have is mostly thanks to the tower on a
javelin. He just picked up a javelin.
Okay, that's
so there's a little bit of hope there. Oh wait, more kills. Drow going down bottom. Drow shouldn't be laning against this Ursa Lich lane by herself. It's really weird, but they gave the Brewmaster this top lane to get his level 6, which is vital to their draft. But I think it's going 2-2-1. I think he's kind of put himself into a weird spot here. Might not even skill Flesh Golem at level 6 and opt for additional levels of the Soul Rip or even the Tombstone. This is kind of making me think that he misclicked that DK skill. But this Brewmaster as well, HellBird, he's below the Nyx on net worth.
No, it's troublesome. That's the thing that I'm looking at the moment, is that, sure, you look at the last...
30 CS.
Yeah, you look at the last hits, it's going to tell you a story, but the scoreboard looks different, right? Like 7-6, not looking so bad, but the reality is that Aura are very far ahead. In fact, I'm going to do something I don't often do. I'm going to go to the stats room and just take a look at the one I really want to take a look at is the win probability, which is currently sitting at a mere 57 call, ticks over to 58%, and then back to 57, leave me alone. Bottom lane, Miriam in a little bit of trouble. Nemi, who actually engaged, has to back off, gets tagged by the sharpshooter. Unfortunately, not able to connect with that shackle shot, though, as Nemi, he's in a little bit of trouble. And there is the javelin, but they used the wind run to get on top of it, so he's going to be brought down instead. And though Miriam does give us the stun, he's going to be returned on with a chain frost. And it does not bounce kindly for Nibbling Monkey, but Jace is here to finish the job. Miriam in trouble. Jukes really well, actually, going the right way, the wrong way, the right way. Which way? Jace doesn't know. Jace looks like he's giving up. In fact, there's a sentry down, and Miriam is trying to bait this one out. I think he sees exactly where that Nyx assassin is. And then they're just going to settle for the kill on the Wind Ranger. But unfortunately, the moment... Oh, hold on. I say this. Jace, are you aware that you're on a sentry? You're probably not. Next creep wave will give it away. But you can see Miriam is just playing around with it. I mean, he's got a sharpshooter, he's got a stun, he's got stuff to work with. He's got a panda backing him up now, lightning back in the fray.
He doesn't have enough mana. He had 120 mana there, he had enough for one spell. Before we waiting for friends. But that next ulti has been wasted now, so he has to wait for the CD to run out. So 40 seconds on the map where this Nyx assassin can't run your heroes down. He is going for... Is that a Meteor Hammer? Yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under
Going
attack.
straight for a Meteor Hammer build.
I remember they used to be. It used to do with like Ring of Bazzi or something like that. Where you used to do the whole toggle thing to get the perfect, duration meteor off or something
No,
like that.
that was with Naga's song.
It was Naga's song. Okay, I
That was
remember
Naga's
this
song.
was a build, but I don't think it actually works anymore. I
So-
don't think you can impale into meteor
No,
reliably
they
anymore.
nerfed the Nyx Assassin stun duration. It used to be 3 seconds, so you could do it.
Mm.
Now he's got a 0.25 second impale stun duration talent at level 10. So once you have the level 10 talent, it's easier to do, but it's not as like 100%. I'm gonna hit this combo
Right.
like it used to be.
Well, I guess theoretically, in terms of blink dagger, they can blink out of it just due to the channel time. But hey, let's see what happens. Chase again. He's gonna be vendetted up. He makes his way towards the top lane at the moment. He's gonna find a lonely and dying, but it's not the biggest kill in the world. But he does have some backup coming in, so might be worthwhile taking anyways. You can see Undying does have his spider senses tingling, so he's gonna back off behind the T1 tower. But I'm
But
scared about this
he-
SF, man. It's like, forget the other two cores that are so far ahead. The SF is sitting at 7k, the Drow is only on 4. These are very
Okay,
tough
he
times
went
to
for-
put.
oh, they're
Back
fighting
shot
the
next
Drow?
onto the Nyx though. They're going to get off the Chain Frost to back him up, but the Nyx should be able to get off the Spike Carapace in time to at least buy him a little bit of reprieve, but in the end he's brought down regardless. Thanks to the power shot, they do get a kill. It's just on support, but big rotation for that. They commit 4 heroes to that. In fact, even Lightning looked like he was making his way. Then he's going to just watch his tier 1 tower fall in the bottom lane instead. 5k
Yeah.
net worth lead.
Like Aura's playing a little bit clustered up at the moment. They scared when this Nyx Assassin is roaming. But look how Punx is as counter warded. Look at their sentries. They are literally on the edges of the entire side of Aura's map. Like they've dropped sentries across that entire row where the Nyx Assassin would like move into the jungle to ensure that he can roam and make these movements. He did die for it there, but it still gives intel. He's doing his job. That is what you like. If you die in that situation as a Nyx Assassin, you're pretty happy and content with it, because your Shadow Fiend's farming, Ursa's farming. You obviously tell your team like, hey, listen, there's 4 heroes in the jungle. It's all sharing XP, all sharing farm.
But even by that notion, if we're drawing lines across the map, there's this one too. And this is effectively the defensive line that the wards are providing at the moment on the minimap. And you can see how far back that is. If you're giving up all of this territory to Punx, you're losing this game.
Yeah, it's just because I don't have a tier 1 yet, so it's really hard to get map control and an entrance into the side of the Radiance, because tier 1 bottom is still up, tier 1 middle is still up. Those are your entrance towers into the enemy's jungle. And oh wait, there's a shackle
Yeah,
shot
they've
going.
caught out Nibbling Monkey again here. He's got haste, but Windrunner has his own version of the Windrunner.
Man, Lich with haste looks so funny. He like leans forward, like.
He is a race car. Leave Lich alone. Just racing. Vroom. Yeah, so
A dead race car.
it crashed. It definitely hit the cement block there. In this case, it was a tree, and it was via a Wind Ranger. But hey,
So Viper has actually opted for like a Urn of Shadows, and now he's going into a Rod of Atos. So very surprised by this. And a very passive game at the moment. Like both teams kind of like poking and prodding at the moment. I say this, and
oh yeah, they've.
Punx has smokes.
Psycho has managed to find. Oh, he
good
was able to
silence.
get off the ulti, but bear in mind, his team was smoked up and getting in from the sidelines. Evesports, he's coming to drop down the tombstone, but that's all he's gone after this fight, and it gets deleted almost as quickly. Because they really just destroyed that and dying. Although the rotation from Aura comes in, they're going to see Gambino, but they won't be able to get on top of him. He's picked up a Rod of Atos now as well, so even more challenging to deal with this Viper. Starting to look real tanky. And mid lane, they're going to catch out Psycho, but again, they're going to catch him on. This time there could be a real trouble. They wind up the LT and does a huge amount of work onto the Wind Ranger, and I'll finish him off. They actually commit the Lightning
Mr.
LT
Stun.
with the Panda though, and he does not manage to find the kills he needs, or the engagement he needs. The back line, Jace is there, he starts dealing damage. The Earth Panda, last one standing. Is this going to die? No, he gets bailed out by Pezbot, who does survive. Well, he gets back into the Nibbling Monkey, very aggressive. And look at the confidence. They're going to try to run down this and dying. He goes back, and a lot of damage comes out onto Nemi, but not enough to finish the job. Clicks the ulti button, and that will be the end of that. Punx are starting to look unbeatable at this point.
Yeah, they just need a few more items on the side of Aura before they can contest. They really need BKBs into this Lich Shadow Fiend Viper lineup. The Brewmaster popped the split there after the Wind Ranger. I think he thought he was going to be able to get it off quick enough to actually stun the SF and not get the ulti out. but then he ended up chucking the boulder onto a catapult instead of onto the SF. So it was a little bit of a misplay. Oh no,
Miriam manages to stop the fight, but they will get the Aegis instead, and they toss up the wind range again into the end. He is in a little bit of trouble. He does have wind run in a second, but they'll be a second too late. Again, Aura just really unable to put anything together here. I think we spoke about this a little in the draft. That I felt they needed some sort of like fight initiator, and that the Panda you mentioned is needed to have a game.
Not really...
Neither of those things are happening.
Yeah, the Panda is kind of the crucial pivot to this with the Undying Tombstone, but we also saw like in that last fight he dropped the Tombstone right in front of the heroes. It's still only a level 1 Tombstone. He's opted for the Max Soul Rip, which I do see most players going for. At a stage now where to be able to contest these fights, and Flesh Golem on Undying is not going to do that. Like high levels of Tombstone and it's placed efficiently will assist, but this Wind Ranger needs a BKB, and yeah, you can even see she queued the Blink Dagger before BKB, but now she's already bought the Ogre Axe, so paying the attention, needs a BKB before she can really get into these fights. And because she, even if Wind Ranger runs on top of a Lich, he can still like gaze her, runs on top of the Nyx Assassin, he can stun. All the heroes have tool to deal with it, like Viper's got a Rod of Atos, Shadowfiend's got a Yule Scepter, so she can't just like freely walk into these fights.
Oh, speaking about Shadowfiend, psychic damage is taking up the position, and he gets shackled. But this man is definitely got some tricks up his sleeve. The Chain Frost will connect to the backlines. Unfortunately, they start moving towards each other. That's crazy. Pezbot just doomed the Drow Ranger.
They got the Shadowfiend in the back.
Get the Tombstone as well. So they do pick up the Shadowfiend, as notAhero says, but that play from Pez was questionable at best.
Brewmaster keeps running out of mana in these fights as well. He actually has split, but he didn't have enough mana for it. Got some clarities going, but he does need a mana item. Some form of sustain, even if it is a mango. He's going for the Heaven's HellBird. He's probably the best hero to build it against this Ursa. So I like that choice. But what we've seen in the pro scene as well, a lot of the Southeast Asian players and the Chinese Brewmaster players, they literally just go Midas into Ags, so you can have 2 splits and then they get a refresher shard. So you effectively had 4 Brewmaster splits in like at any given time. You shouldn't probably need 4, but it just means you can always have splits. Like you remove the downtime from the hero. So he's opting for the Heaven's HellBird into a BKB or Blink. He hasn't queued anything else yet. Oh, they're going and they engage.
They're going to re-engage him. Pezbot's the one's getting caught out again. This time around, it'll be the Shadowfiend that finishes the job, and they do get a bit of damage off thanks to the power shot. In fact, the Viper looking a little bit troublesome. Nice attempt there with the shackle shot, but not going to go.
He tanked the nuke for Jace on the Nyx. He actually ran in front of him, so Jace wouldn't get nuked down. I do think he would have lived, but just showing their intention, they want to keep all their heroes alive. The Undying moment there, poor Pezbot, that's one of those, the moment you put that sentry down, you regret it. Like, just kind of want to like,
oh no,
pick it back up again, like, oh crap.
I found what I've been looking for, and when I did, I realized I didn't want it. Lane, Arm is trying to put a little bit of pressure on this tier 1 tower, which still stands at 20 minutes, and you can see Living Monkey will have none of that. Of course, Lich actually a very good tower defender on this back and towards mid lane, but the fight's actually playing out towards... Oh, that's a big pick! They pick off the Shadowfiend. And the good news for Aura is that Drow is starting to catch up. I mean, it's still far off the pace, but 8k sounds a lot better than... Like, 8 versus 11 is a lot better than before it was literally double. So some good news for Aura fans out there. But not still a 9k lead.
Yeah, Aura also has a draft, I think, that scales better. Shadowfiend did opt for this Boots of Travel Yule's build, so he's going to be tanky and he's going to be annoying, but all his damage can be mitigated when your team starts getting BKBs. And Ursa doesn't scale as hard as he used to since they stopped doing the Battle Fury build. Like Diffusal Basher on the hero, and then you get like, what do you get after that? You can go, they usually go Swift Blink or Abyssal. They're not going for these Battle Fury, SNY, Butterfly, scary bear running at you items anymore. Like, he's still terrifying, don't get me wrong, but I do think with the current build, Ursa is a hero that wants to end the game before 35 minutes.
Alright, well, Jace wants to help make that happen. He's hunting at the moment. He's actually got a lot of information. He's spotted out 3 heroes from the Aura squad. What we may not be aware of is that there are a couple of sentries there, a little bit further back. He tosses out his own Impale.
Just being cheeky. Lightning has tried to take over this outpost 3 times. You cancelled it twice because you're... Oh, wait.
Oh, wow. We've been interested in what's happening on that side of the map, but it's actually an interesting decision that Punx made, was that instead of to follow the heroes, they actually went to the other side of the map, and they'll take another tier 2 tower. They've taken the tier 2 top already.
Aura kind of, after the draft, realized like what their shortfall is, and you can see the itemization by the Hoodwink as well. First item, Rod of Atos. When Hoodwinks go this, they usually go the
Oh,
most
wow,
first.
sorry, Pezbot has been caught up by Nemi, and that's an Undying, just absolutely melting. There's nothing Undying about him
No
right
one's
now.
scouting the Blink though. Like, no one on their team is scouting like the items, because this Ursa's had this Blink Dagger for a while. He's shown it, and running forward like that with the Ursa right there with the Blink Dagger, you're going to get blown up. So Aura just need to calm down a little bit. Like, the captain just needs to start taking control. How far is this range of BKB?
A little too far to take this fight. He's got 3 heroes running down, and then of course the Nyx has that gem up, so with a little bit of help he can just deward, stay in Vendetta, and then just really deward and close the net on Aura. He's in the backline. There is actually a war done on that side, so this time around he's going to get caught up. But DD Nyx feels bad.
And Aura doesn't feel like comfortable pushing out on the map. Like, they kind of always sticking together, and it's really hurting them on like a farming perspective or XP perspective. Now they've smoked and broken up. Brewmaster's smoke is broken. He knows
they're happening mid though, so Lightning tries to go onto Nemi, but he gets... Well, he sees a shadow of the Ursa as he blinks away. Well,
okay, Drower's moved bottom. This is the right call. They need to get farm on this hero. She's ignoring that. She's getting the tier 1. But Shadowfiend's sleeping. He's gonna blow this Drower bottom.
Now this is problematic, and if the timing's good,
Oh, he
actually
tried it too early.
he had to back off. He used the BKB to stop the gust, but this just means that I think he TP's out. I think he TP's out. Yeah, not a
No,
great
he did it
play.
way too early, and when he realized, he cancelled it, but then he couldn't channel it again. That is very lucky from Aura. Oof. FICO damage though, like unexpectedly, like messing that combo up. You wouldn't expect him to do that. Like, I guess we'll give him one. HellBird will give him one.
Yeah, it's a little comedy of errors, I guess. It does feel bad because also his
next.
maximal BKB as well, but they're going to re-engage here and they catch out the Drow Ranger anyways. So it looks like they will not be paying for their sins in the bottom lane. Lightning does pop the ulti, but there's no way he's going to fight into this. He's going to drop the Chain Frost, and well, that works. That's one way to deal with a pad ulti, just Chain Frost it away. Lightning will be able to get off the high ground though, so he will survive this, but it does come at the cost of the Drow Ranger, and as you mentioned, he was making the right play and going to farm bottom lane, and it didn't work out for him, but coming back towards the mid, it was punished again. And as you can see,
it's just so scary for Aura to push out their lanes at the moment, because if it's not this Nyx hunting you, the Shadow Fiend is just boots of traveling on top of you and then spirit bombing you into oblivion. So, and he's got Blink, Yules, BKB. What is he going next? He's going Octarine Core.
That's an interesting one. He wants, so Octarine Core, Arcane Blink seems to be the call.
Is Axe just not better? Like,
yeah, I was gonna say,
because
it's kind of the same thing, right? Like it kills.
So he's playing for level 20. He wants to get the 30% cool reduction talent with the Octarine Core. So more BKBs, more blinks, more ultis.
Fair enough. Well, he gets caught out by Miriam here, but no ways that he can finish the job alone. Does get off, or almost gets off the power shot. We see a bit of Matrix movement coming out from Psycho. He dodges a power shot and a sharpshooter effectively at the same moment, and Roshan Owen have the same luck. Nemi takes him down, and that comes with a shard, which seems to be past to the... I thought it was past the Viper, but it seems to stand great. It's actually going to go to the Ursa himself. Nemi will get
picture of Shadow Fiend just doing the Neo backwards movement, dodging projectiles.
Oh, and they're right on top of it, and they're going to catch out the Wind Range. He has the BKB though. Backlines though. Nemi's going to find the first kill. It's the Undying again. In they go though. Look at the damage actually being dealt to the Wind Ranger. He does manage to go off the high ground though, so you've got to be careful, got to be safe. He needs to get a little bit of extra time. He does the Wind Run up again. Now we'll use it, just luring Punx away. But in the end, it's going to be just an Earth Shock. How often do you see that? Earth Shock,
kill.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
Does that thing do damage? Apparently so.
and Omen had to commit a 9-second BKB here to kill a Lich, and it almost didn't happen. That was his 9-second BKB, HellBird, to kill a Lich.
And look,
Like it's not looking good for Aura.
not at all. Cardi pushing forward as well. They just don't have that time.
Yeah, their win condition is also kind of rough at the moment. This Drought needs about another 2 items. Their pos 5 Undying went for this mech build. I don't like it because you pick it up like after 20 minutes, and then the effectiveness of mech is kind of gone. There's nothing that they really want to dispel for
Second
him.
of Nemi.
Say again?
It's a second of Nemi. That's pretty much what your mech is providing
Yeah,
at the moment.
it's one shot from the Ursta. Like, so...
Actually, I'm very surprised that if you look across Aura, and I find this very surprising, not a single 4-staff.
Yeah, I
27
think the
women.
support should have gone... Undying should have definitely gone for like a 4-staff Glimmer Cape. This mechanism isn't providing anything for them in the drop. It's a I'm gonna openly say it's a bad pickup.
Yeah, we've been a little bit harsh on our dear friend Pezbot, but hopefully, you know, no intent to be mean to the guy. I just want to say, everyone has those games where the cast are going to be mean to you. But anyways, on the back line, Nemi goes back in, gets caught by the gust. The Chain Frost does fly through, and it is doing a lot of work. Will finally find its way onto the low ground. Nemi actually very high up, and Vermaak doesn't age, so he doesn't find the skill. It's going to be a problem for them. They lose most of the pandas again. Only
good
those
shackle.
pandas staying, but they do catch out Nemi, and they'll bring down the Aegis for the first time. This fight may be good enough as is. If they can survive without losing a player or a tower off the back of an Aegis, I think that's a good little bit of work. Don't overstay your welcome, but they do get a pretty decent stun off onto Nemi and Gambino. But again, they have to respect the fact that they are the team playing from behind. They cannot force out the high ground. Even though it looks good, it probably isn't. Psycho damage winds up on the drop. He has his own BKB. So this does mean that at the end, he's able to just walk that one off. And I guess BKB for BKB, that's fine. And it'll teach Psycho damage that he can't go on that Jar Ranger, which is probably a good bit of...
Well, while that was happening though, the Meteor Hammer still hit the tower because Jace was going for the Meteor Hammer play on top of it, but it wasn't the tower range, so this tower is being chipped down slowly, which should. So even though there was BKB trade for BKB, there was a lot of chip damage done to the tower. I like what Aura's doing here.
Yeah,
No Shadow Fiend ulti, and let's go. No BKB on the Dry Ranger. But also no BKB on Shadow Fiend.
Walk straight into Jace. Do they have reveal? They do have reveal. They do have disable. They can get the gem off this. This will be big. They should be able to finish off the next Andu. But no, Lightning, go back.
They're not picking it up.
Lightning.
They're not picking it up.
No. This is a tragedy.
Oh,
you said it earlier that I guess Nyx is harder to see, but like shortly somebody. Oh, the courier's going. The courier's going. It's going to be picked up by the Nyx.
No.
That is a shocker.
They could have re-established vision of their jungle for them. His Nyx could have been nullified because he doesn't have a gem, so their sentries are actually worth something again. And they just didn't. And Jace immediately with the laughing voice line because he's chuckling. Like,
I mean,
he broke a 4-man smoke and got his gem back. He's.
I mean, the irony of it, right, is that it was so worth it for Aura to find a support with the smoke in that situation. Except they did all the hard work, and they just had to pick up the gem, and they just left it behind.
Because that's effectively a 900 gold swing.
Yeah.
That you just didn't pick up.
And so much more. I mean, let's be real. Like, it's all that vision that you can now have on the map again. It's all
your sentries are actually worth something again.
It's the potential catch on the Nyx assassin. You know, it's all of those things that combine. So a real shame for Aura.
I am surprised by Jace's build this game. You don't really see the Meteor Hammer build on Nyx anymore. People tend to go like earn into Ags. Because the Aghanims has kind of gotten a revival. The item is extremely strong. But he's making this Blink Dagger Meteor Hammer work for him. Running around the map,
guessing it's got to do with the lack of the Sable that we spoke about earlier. But mid lane, they're going to catch out Gambino. The Sharpshooter also connects as they try to run them. They actually give it the BKB from the Jar Ranger, so they need to make this count. And unfortunately, they do not. They're going to bring in the Shadow Fiend, he TPs straight back in, he winds up the Panda. Does get stunned though, didn't BKB for that, which means they could potentially turn this one around. This is certainly Aura's fight. It has to be. They're going to commit onto the Shadow Fiend. He winds up again, and he does manage to clear them back. Nemi gets himself farm, and he doesn't have one run, so he's going to be brought down again. Soaring through the air. Finally, they find the kill in the airset, but it did come at the expense of the Ranger, and a double Meteor Hammer managed to connect onto the Drow Ranger as well as Miriam, and now they're going to toss through the chain shot, and they need to Delta split. This time they will do so, but they still lose yet another player. Miriam will fall. I guess in this situation, you can say that pick up the SF for your Wind Ranger and the support is probably worth it. I mean, he's a 20k net worth. It's certainly worth it, but
net worth hero in the game, definitely.
But the threat's not over yet, notAhero. They're going straight up the high ground again, and they don't mind. They have less things to worry about. Nemi on the front line is going to force out the fortification, and I think that was also the Meteor Hammer that was commit to that, so a little bit of good use. They're going to actually be I said it was going to be forced of night, but it actually fell from, I think, one of the ticks from Jace.
They've got the shot on Viper, so poison attack is now lowering buildings on. That's actually disgusting. But it's a timing we spoke about in the drafting phase. Like, with Aura kind of has this weird period where if they don't have Tombstone on Brewmaster split, they're really struggling to take these fights. Yes, they're 20k net worth behind, but they are still fighting back. Brewmaster needs to get this Ags, but he is so far away. He actually bought the Shard now before like buying Ag and Scepter. I guess he wants to have as
hold
much
on, this is what they need. They catch out. Please pick up the gem. Guys, Chad's seen it. Chad has seen it. Thanks everything in this world, Chad has seen the gem.
They
want
got the Viper?
Continue on. They commit the chain process, not getting a huge amount, but they do find the Wind Ranger again. Nemi straight on top of them. They want to bring down the Tombstone, but they do get a little bit of disable off onto both Nemi and the next assassin. However, they're back on the chase down. Wind Ranger in trouble, trying to back off. In fact, it's not the Wind Ranger. It is the Drow Ranger that's going to fall. And now it's going to be the turn for Pezbot, who is alone. He is caught up by the Sinister Gaze and finished off. The only survivor being Lightning.
And did they give the gem back straight back there?
I believe so. And this is... Wait, actually, where is the gem? Hold on. Hold on. What's... it's outside the rush, but I guess that's fine, right? Because they want the racks, and that's what's important right now. So they might go and reclaim it on the way to claim the next Roshan, which is actually probably going to be fairly timeless for them. I think it's going to be actually alive. I was calling it. I was a liar. It's going to be a full 3 minutes almost. But bottom lane, they try to re-engage on the tower. They do get caught out. Jace in a little bit of trouble here. Can they finish the job? They're trying to desperately, but once again, you can just see Nemi straight onto the Wind Ranger, and absolutely no chance. Deleted yet again.
Just destroying this Wind's life.
Also, just bear in mind, Nemi's 12-0. He's played so well. They haven't been able to bring him down. They try and slow him down, as he will pick up the support again. Godlike on Nemi, and it's not getting any easier. Backline, Psycho winds up for the Panda, and he will connect onto Lightning. They bring down the Undying as well, and the Panda. Drow Ranger all alone, and I think it's safe to say that we're going to game 2, and Aura have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, they need to kind of compose themselves because it looked a bit choppy. Like this second pick Drow hasn't done anything for them, and then they can't Ranger pick as well. They don't have any heroes to apply pressure on the map. Undying Hoodwink as a support duo kind of waits for Cause to do something, and Wind as a mid laner, unless she completely snowballs, which she didn't. She struggled against this FICO damage Shadow Fiend. You're always going to be playing off the back foot.
Well, okay, there's a Dota update, as apparently is the norm here at EGL One, so we're going to take a quick break, update our Dota, and we'll come back for game 2. I just want to say, though, before we go into that one, I really do think Aura have a lot more to offer here. I don't think that this is the Aura that we saw against WOG. I think that they're a much better team than the performance we just saw. So if you're watching this when you're like, this is over, don't count on it. I still think there's a good opportunity for Aura to come back and play a much more impressive game of Dota. But that is, once again, only for the players to decide. We're going to take a quick break now, and we'll be back just in a minute.
Oh hey, I didn't see you over there. I assume you've come back for some more Dota 2 notAhero. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. You know, every time that we come back from a break, I think to myself, it's this weird experience, right? We kind of reconnect with the audience, reconnect with Dota after whatever was going on in between. But anyways, hey, I do see you over there. Welcome back to the game. EGL One Dota 2 action live here. Aura Gaming taking on Punx, and let's call it Punx were dominant in game one. notAhero, before we ask you for a recap, I just want to remind everyone watching a game and everyone watching on the stream. For those watching a game, join us on the stream. We have free stuff that we want to give away in just a moment. And for those of you who are already here, it'd be a great opportunity for you to hit that subscribe button and make sure that you never miss out on any of the Evesports action. Of course, we cover a lot of Dota games here, and hey, if you're into CSGO and that kind of thing, there's even CSGO tournaments that are, you know, hopefully not too far away from us in the future as well. All right, with that out the way, let's get stuck back into this one. notAhero, very quick recap for anyone who missed game one. What went wrong, and what do Aura need to do to change it?
Aura Gaming first picked Draw Ranger, and then everything else was banned, and they last picked Wind Ranger, and they had no pressure on them. So that's basically to sum it up. Aura need to go back to what they did against the WRG series, because against the WRG series, their opening 2 picks were solid, and they outdrafted their opponent, and then they outplayed them. They went for this Brewmaster pick, which I like the hero. There was nothing else on the map that can set tempo. There was no other heroes to get in the face of the enemy, and the weight on the Brewmaster's shoulders was way too big, and he didn't have the best laning phase. So we see Aura Gaming taking out Dragonite and Winter Wyvern, and then the Timbersaw plus the Axe bans. That's kind of the same from Punx. If the Nyx Assassin doesn't get picked up by Aura now, you kind of will see it from Punx probably. So Puck Lion, I like that more. That's 2 heroes. Lion in the mid period of the game with Blink Dagger can get in their faces because of high pressure hero. They have gone with Puck Lion before in the tournament, and it's comfort, and I think it's way better than what was the previous opening. It was something plus Drow.
The opening was Woodwink and Drow, yeah.
Yeah, no, this is a much
and that was into
opener.
the Nyx. I mean, this is the identical opener for Punx as well with the Viper and Assassin, but as you mentioned, like, this already feels dangerous, right? Like, Puck and Lion. Puck, obviously a very flexible character, and Lion, instant disables and big ultis.
5 or 4, you can go both positions.
But I mean, it just feels much better. Like, this is a totally different look and feel right now, and I think both of us are happy because we don't, you know, we don't necessarily want to wish either of these teams out, right? So we can't pick a favorite, we can't be biased in any way, right? But we don't want to see Aura go out like they did last matchup. So even if they lose the second game, we just want to see them go out like as the same team that they were when they beat WG. And I think they definitely are far more capable than we saw in the last matchup, and hopefully this is going to lend to that kind of matchup.
Aura also needs to adapt because WRG is more a team that plays into the late game with RDK. So they will give you that 20-30 minutes to do your own thing as well, because RDK is getting ready to fight. Punx is not that type of team. We saw the last game. Shadow Fiend, Ursa, they want to end the game by 30 minutes. They're gonna get heroes to run at your face, and that's what this Nyx did. Viper constantly a nuisance in the enemy jungle, taking farm away from their cause. They're not going to let Aura Gaming just drive around for like cruising for 20 minutes and then decide, okay, let's fight them. So Puck Lion, higher tempo heroes, shorter CD spells, can do more on the map early on. I like it a lot. We do then see Lifestealer, Juggernaut, and Slark taken out. Templar Assassin banned, Grimstroke, and Lich again. The Lich ban is surprising. Do you think the Lich had a big factor in that last game? Or was it just like securing the lanes for Punx?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like literally one of those heroes that, if I'm frank, is easy and can look good when you're playing from ahead. Like, you know, when you are chasing, and it's easy to find opportunities to wait to use your ult. You don't feel encouraged to have to burn it to make a difference in a team fight, but rather secure a team fight. So I do think that the Lich for me is probably not something I would have banned, because you can just play a different game and almost, I wouldn't say it feels like it's not like it's a bad hero
over the Ursa. Which they played the previous game with these exact 2 heroes. They ran Viper, Nyx, and Ursa together in the previous draft.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The Ursa was definitely more from the Lich, right?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
And it's also frustrating for the kind of heroes they have. Like Puck and Lion, they have instant disables getting on top of them, but as soon as he comes out of that, it's a problem. But anyways, you go back to Hoodwink, obviously a favorite for Aura. I like Hoodwink. I don't think there's any problem with that. They're just looking a little bit squishy at the moment. So you pick up a Spectre. Yikes. I actually really like the Spectre pick up here. Although it's go playing into the break, that's a squishy lineup that don't like playing into something like the Spectre. It's not just the ulti. It's, I think a lot of people see it as...
Spec can go earlier form of Manta, I guess. He can dodge the projectile or even just dispel it. So I don't like Hoodwink versus Spectre. Yes, you do need the break. I guess if you do lock someone down, if you lock the Spectre down with Lion, Hoodwink can apply that break. Your team does a significant amount of damage. But throughout the game, the Spectre can jump on top of Hoodwink and Lion at any stages of the game.
The thing is, it doesn't really work, right? Because you think about it. Sorry to interrupt, but like, you almost have to apply like an instant sharpshooter, because normally what you would want to do with sharpshooter is wind it up and get this huge amount of damage up. But the problem with Spectre is that you want to deal the damage fast before she comes out of the initial disables. Yeah. So that's interesting. But this looks so much better. I much prefer this draft regardless. Sand King coming out now. I don't think it really has any kind of engagement with the Spectre per se, but it's more disable. It's a hero that can play on the front lines. I've seen a nuanced way, because he doesn't actually like be visible in the front lines, but he's have to get in there early. So he'll initiate, break into Sandstorm. This is a lot of lockdown for Aura and a lot more to play with. I mean, it's ironic because the previous match we were talking about how little stun they had. I mean, both teams. Now everyone stuns.
Yeah, so they're gearing up for better team fights, and it's to counter this aggression of Punx, which I like. Punx did opt for the Spectre pick as well over the Ursa when the Puck and the Lion were showed, because they know they can, like, this game now will go a little bit later because the Spectre needs to get items, but Aura need to respond with a carry that can outfarm the Spectre but fight at the same tempo. So I think something like a they're so squishy though, but even with the Sand King pick,
the Sand King is a strength hero, but he's not a tanky strength hero.
Yeah. No, he's not tanky at all.
But this does make their final pick very awkward, because they're now like a Sven, right? Like, you need a hero that can do that tanky stuff and deal your late game damage.
Yeah, but Sven's also not really good against like Viper in the lane. He's just gonna get harassed. Because that is also Viper.
Maybe Ursa's pretty tanky, so maybe that's the play here, and he can man fight Spec.
This Viper offlane is causing them problems because these melee heroes they don't like laning against this Viper Nex combo. Nex is hard to kill and Viper keeps harassing you.
So what ranged hero is tanky and likes to fight in the front and also wins the game late?
I think you can even do like something cheeky and swap your lanes. Like Lion plus Ursa destroys a Spectre lane. Lion plus Gyrocopter. A Gyrocopter outfarms the Spec and like you can fight earlier. There's a Kunkka for Punx. You're tanky, eh?
Yeah. There's a lot of damage to get through there, and that's scary because like Sand King, he gives you a burst of damage. Hoodwink, burst of damage. Line, burst of damage. Puck, burst of damage. And then you just look across, you're just like, what happens after? You know, there's a very like kind of, I guess, a famous game for Dota 1 players in South Africa in particular that I won't bore people with too much of the details, but there was a moment where one of our players initiated on or was initiated on by a Tiny and just turned around and beat him up, and everyone was kind of like, wow, it was amazing, because once the Tiny had done his first burst of damage, there wasn't anything to follow up with. This feels like we might be stuck in the same situation. And if Coco Rum goes down, there's no ways of getting through it. So then they have to have a big final pick here. Well, it looks like Punx kind of agree with me. They're going to ban the Sven. We'll see if they ban the Ursa as well now.
Yeah, but they need something tanky that can like do damage. But I 100% think you dodge this Viper lane and you just sorry Lightning, but you throw the Sand King against this Viper lane and just make him try and get as much as possible. And you put even an aggressive tri lane, maybe not so much because if teams mess up aggressive tri lanes, they tend to struggle to get back in the game. But still have 2 lanes, but swap your lanes. Put a carry +1 against something that can lane against the Spectre. Because they leaving their last pick for pos 5, like a pos 5 last pick. I guess Spectre Warlock banned out, AA banned out.
I mean, is this not potentially a support Viper then?
No, Gambino played it the last game. It looks solid with the Nyx Assassin.
10 seconds remaining.
But I mean, it could though, right? Like, you could go like TA now or something. Oracle, okay.
Silly HellBird.
Just
Silly
saying.
Billy.
You're already winning your lanes, right? You feel good about this. I mean, and listen. If you know me, if you, we're talking about history flashbacks here, you'll know that I quite like my support Vipers.
That's not something you want to say
MS
on
Paint,
live on stream, eh?
Shout out to anybody who appreciates MS Paint, green screens, and support Vipers. That's me in a nutshell. That's my career of esports. But anyways, okay. So where did they go? I mean, the Sven's gone, the Weaver's gone now. So I mean, the Ursa is still in pool, right? Yeah, he is.
Something to be able to land against this Kunkka and not get destroyed like the previous game. The Shadow Fiend punished the Wind Ranger way too hard, and we've seen in the past. I think it was actually Sinister 5 when, no, it was Goliath Gaming when Sin 5 picked Kunkka middle, Castaway went middle with a Huskar, and Kunkka's game was just done.
Choose your hero.
TB?
I mean,
they're putting the puck mid. What was I saying? Like, obviously, needed a carry, HellBird. Why didn't you stop me on this?
oh, I thought you were talking about Punx. That's what I was looking at Punx, saying maybe Punx are running the Gambino support Viper. I just thought we just had a wires crossed. That's okay.
Gambino is the offlane now.
No, I thought maybe that we'd have a. See, what I thought you were saying was that the Viper and Nyx might not include a. Because you were right about. I'm confused. Good. Whose team were you talking about the 5 position, notAhero? I thought you were talking about Punx.
Punx had to have a last pick 5 position. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that's what we were talking about. Yeah. What do we? I mean,
No, we've moved on. The Oracle's been revealed. Like,
I thought we were just chatting retrospectively. I don't know. Yes, obviously. I've been talking about the whole time about the guy who can tank things. Yeah, anyways, the one thing I will say about this is that although Terrorblade isn't traditionally a hero that wants to play in the front lines and be tanky, it is actually kind of tanky. Like, you're getting onto. Say again?
Terrorblade doesn't want to be in the front though.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost like half of the problem they had is solved in the sense that they don't have something that necessarily wants to play in the front, but it is tanky and it deals damage.
Yeah, and they've got to push as well, which they were lacking.
Also, I'm not gonna lie, like Spectre, like if you're playing Spectre into a Terrorblade and it's an even footing, Terrorblade don't care. He doesn't care at all. You're just walking in melee range into like 4 illusions of a Terrorblade just beating into you. You're not even in range to do dispersion damage by the time you reach him. You can just rip Aronies.
Yeah, you can use reflection on the spec.
Oh yeah, which is also great. In fact, with that in mind, like there's a lot of spec players that still probably want to go Radiance for that, and you know you can reflect all of that stuff.
Are we gonna open the giveaway?
Do we have to? Because what this means is that someone out there will get a shirt potentially before I get one, and I don't know if I like this.
Okay, I'm opening the giveaway.
No, that's not how this works, right? That's not how this works. I do the free stuff around here, notAhero.
No, wait,
no, there'll be none of this. What's going on? Oh, this is my first blood. That's what's going on here at the moment. Jay's caught out, and they will finish him off. Face checks the cliff, and well, there was a surprise waiting for him. Anyways, cool. But yeah, cool. I guess in that case, since the Arabian First Blood, I can't stop anymore. Let's do a giveaway. So, if you are watching a game, now's your last chance. Get over onto the YouTube channel, search for Evesports on YouTube. You'll take us to the live show, and then you'll be able to be part of our giveaway, of course. Regrettably, it is for SO. Okay, I'm not allowed to finish the sentence. We'll be just about nibbling monkey in trouble now because apparently we're not done yet. I mean, that doesn't suck. There, that's all we wanted to see. Good. Making up for lost time. Anyways, so once again, come over to the YouTube channel. Please stop at Aura. Stop killing things.
Hold on.
Okay, Aura wants to go again. They're going on Gambino. Maybe this time there isn't going to be something that's going to die. Jay's just staying in the middle right now. He's securing his ruin. Actually taking a lot of damage. He's been body blocked as well. Is this going to be third blood? It's going to be third blood. Okay, very well. Good. Thank you. Now, free stuff.
So what were you saying?
This time. Stop it, Aura. I'm trying to do my job here. Just ruin. I mean, you're actually making it fantastic. Keep more of that. Okay, cool. Come over to the YouTube channel. Search for Evesports. You'll find us live. You can comment on our haircuts. Then, you just want to say EGL One. Type it out, one word in the chat, only once, and you will enter into the draw for the opportunity to win a EGL One shirt. please bear in mind, it is only for SA residents. So if you're watching from abroad, unfortunately, you won't be able to win it. But for South Africans out there, you can. Good. EGL One. Just once. One word in the chat, on the YouTube channel, and back to the Dota. notAhero, what is going on?
Punx were really stubborn that they wanted the rune, and Aura was just like, okay, you can get the rune, but we're gonna kill 3 of your heroes. Or next assassin actually died twice. How much gold did he actually lose in that exchange? So before the game started, the next assassin...
2 deaths.
Before it even started, like, he's given almost 500 gold to the enemy team, and like, his
I need
net worth is probably
Noctil.
crumbling.
Listen, somebody, if I don't do it, please do it now. Somebody, I need to know what the most amount of times anybody has died in a professional game before the creeps have met is, because it can't be more than 2, right? Like, that's ridiculous. Jace might have set a world record right here at EGL One.
The competitively, not talking about like someone just running down feeding.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, in a professional game. And this is an amateur game, obviously by definition, but it's close enough. It's got a ticket. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Yo, this Nyx is harassing this Terrorblade, and he's trying to keep the creep wave off the tower bottom. And Jace is just—he's angry now. He's died twice already. Wants to get some revenge, and he had no stats there because he opted for boots level 1. And so just boots and tangos, and just got beaten.
Oh, sorry, top lane. Miriam in a little bit of trouble here, and he actually is going to be bailed out by a wall-time disable. The Nibbling Monkey still is able to return some of the damage. Did, of course, heal him up. He's actually healthier than he once was, which is, you know, one of the problems with Oracle. But I love Oracle, man. I think it's such an amazing hero that it's one of those sports where technically I feel like if you were, it's got like no skill ceiling, that kind of thing.
I don't like Oracle, because laning against him is absolutely horrible, and
you don't like him because he's good. Okay.
Purifying Flames doing what's it, like 180 damage on level 2? That's just, you know,
well, let's put out lightning here, and they get the double root off as well. Miriam in trouble. Double burrow strike returns. The acorn shot goes through. They do feed the Nemi spec a kill of their own, but you know what's crazy though? Like, once again, how are Punx doing this? They're actually ahead on net worth after losing First Blood. 4 kills early on. It's kind of ridiculous. And once again, it comes down to the fact that they're just creeping better. I mean, mid lane, if you take a peek at the moment, this is one of the lines I actually don't like for Puck, is Kunkka, because he can just pump fakes the Riptide and then, the Tidebringer, and then, you know, you phase shift, and then all of a sudden you're in trouble because there's potentially a torrent on your head and all sorts of weird and wonderful things. So I don't blame Puck for being down like this, but obviously having a much harder time. 21-1 versus 13-1 is really significant.
So the big difference here is mainly on
Jace
the bottom
might die
lane.
again. Jace is at least the death of his opposite number, but Miriam.
The difference is
try chasing down. They're actually going to go for the runes here and get denied by Miriam.
Okay, nice little cheeky.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah, nothing picked up. But yeah, the difference is definitely in the bot lane. If you look at the TBC as compared to the Spectre, Spectre is like 600 gold already ahead of him. And then the Viper is... Oh, Viper and Sanking's pretty close.
Yeah. So the one thing, going for that hybrid bull, I know you're not a massive fan.
I don't like it.
And Lightning actually overstaying is welcome. I think he might be dead here. He actually has so many Magic 1 charges, but it doesn't matter. Just not respecting the Oracle. I guess also one of the problems with an Oracle is that you don't see it much, so sometimes it's easy to get baited into thinking he's not going to hit that hard, and then, well, he does.
Yeah, it just needs some sticks in this lane with Oracle, because Purifying Flames, 2.3 second CD... even understand why that's a thing. 2.3 seconds and you can do 180 damage to you. I
guess
it
kills you for 198.
Yeah.
It's not that good. Gambino trying to run down Chad in the bottom lane, does get the reflection off, but once again, guess what? Nibbling Monkey comes in to ruin the lives of Aura and all their fans.
With top lane spec?
Well, it does mean that they do potentially have an opportunity to do some damage to Nemi, but it's not really going to be present. And unfortunately, they've lost all the lanes. I mean, this early on, but right now they've fallen well behind. They commit the metamorphosis to whatever went happened bot.
Omen needs to get boots though. This Puck needs to get boots, and he needs to start rotating with coil. He's gone for the urn into bottle, first 2 items. So he needs to start getting urn charges so he can keep applying pressure on the map. He is their strongest hero. He's been managing to keep up with his Kunkka's net worth. and he's the one that needs to start putting pressure and making space.
On bottom lane again, double impale actually from Jace, quite nice. But they looked like they were trying to get aggressive since they're so close to the tower, but heal does come out onto the Terror Blade. Oh, that's the real pain, right? Chad singing 18 CS, the Spectre singing 30 or 29, but
Yeah.
you know.
That's what I spoke about in the drafting phase. Like putting a Terrorblade is a melee and a ranged hero, but putting this Terrorblade against this Viper lane, they could have dodged the lanes and still applied pressure onto the
Dire's
Spectre.
bottom tower is under attack.
If TB farmed against Spectre top, they would have put 100% farm.
Sorry, mid
Like
lane,
100%.
they move the torrent onto the puck, and they're going to wind up the route, but he does a phase shift, and he should be able to phase shift, and does. He wants out. We'll use the illusory orb to get over the Roche pit, and Roshan just says hi. You know, have you ever considered what that's like for Roshan? You know, we often think about the Zelda thing. I don't know if you've
People just walking
the Zelda
into
thing,
his
right?
pit.
People just coming into a house and then breaking pots. You know, that, like a weird life. Right? Imagine being Roshan, right? You just literally, I have a cave and nothing else, but no, you must come and slaughter me over and over again. As you,
He's already got swords and stuff sticking out of his back. And
sorry, hold on. They're
spears.
gonna catch out the next assassin here, and Chaz is actually gonna commit the. Oh wow! Actually, once again, another double spike carapace, and there should be illusion orb. It's gonna connect. I think does, but not quite be able to finish the job just yet. The tower will do it for you if you don't, but finally, manages to find the kill on the next. But that is again, man, this mid is good. Like, let's just say what it is. Well, Psycho, what is up, my man? You are 60 CS.
Yeah, Psycho is crushing it. So he isn't one of the better teams in the country at the moment, but he is as well. Psycho damage is one of the players that I rated.
Apologies. Miriam in trouble at the top lane. Yeah, Lightning trying to bail him out, trying to wind up for the double burrow strike potentially. And even though he has it, I just don't think he can follow up on this. Gets a little bit of damage with him. You're going to block him off, but again, immediate little bit of knowledge there. They're going to bring in the line there. They do get the Earth Spike off. The range on that one, but Nibbly Monkey is still alive. Burrow strike will be available in 2, but they're going to back off. They're going to respect the tower as potential TP's coming in. In fact, it's going to be just Nemi come back to the fray. He's going to be able to get some help up, but actually has returned into the top lane now and listening to NotAhero, but he doesn't have a huge amount of man to work with, and now he might be in a little bit of trouble. That's the Dream Call will commit it as Lightning has to back off. Does not have another Burrow Strike for a while. The Spike Carapace actually being used. That is so smart. Slowing down just to break the coil on him so he can do damage to the puck. Like, come on. And they're doing everything they can to survive, and they'll be able to...
Look at Jace.
They're just, it'll come.
No damage.
There's a spike. There's
fighting
a
them.
spike.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, is it? No, it's going to be a torrent. Because Psycho decided to casually make his way towards.
If the Hoodwink joined this engagement, then I think they could have done it. But he's still level 4. So he's trying to get his level 6. Oh, wait, sinking?
Yeah, he stuck around for just a little bit too long, and he does go for decent burst strike though. He's got charges, so if he can stay alive a little while. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Nom noms.
Eaten by the shark.
Yep.
Be like a shark.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Alliance voice lines.
Dire's structures
Oh, Hoodwink!
Yeah, he does manage
they
to
can't
catch
kill
that
this next.
They're all such
And he's
lovely.
gonna get a bounty.
Remember me, the bounty machine. I sacrificed them all. They really need to start, spreading for these impales because they have an acorn shot, and
It's
they
literally
might
run
be able
in
to kill
between.
him. Maybe.
Oh,
Yes,
there we
is.
go.
Yeah, the bushwhack will do the damage.
But that's ridiculous. Like he's
bottom
ran
lane,
into
though,
3 heroes
Gambino.
twice.
Finds a nice easy kill on the Liu.
On the Liu.
The Liu. You know what we don't call me anymore? The Demon Witch.
middle tower is under attack.
I'm very happy we don't call you the Demon Witch. That is not something that I would...
The line is the
Dire's
Demon Witch.
top tower is under attack.
Okay. Looks like is going to find himself a new friend, Nibbling Monkey. He immediately just makes sure that he is magic immune with Fate's Edict. And it means that Om's in trouble here, and they read him like a book, but he doesn't go the right way. He actually dedicates himself to...
Oh no, Silence wasn't long enough!
Yeah, he gets caught out in the end by Nibbling Monkey. Nice little bit of work. He does the Dream Call to work with, but he's in so much trouble. He's got no TP, so... What are you going to do? Looks like you're going to potentially have to deal with Nemi. He's going to pump again. Nope, this time he goes for it.
Is out of mana. He's out
going
of
on
mana.
an adventure. He's going on an adventure. There's an illusionary rune that potentially could come to his rescue, because he does have a bottle. But he is... we're going on an adventure! And he's going to take damage from the tower. He's going to Waying Rift. He's going to get around that one, but eventually he should fall here. Going to try juke around the tree line, but it's time. Because there was a... actually, by the way, big brains, Chase. Big brains. Using the courier to make sure there's no juking available.
What is going on in this game? Both mids opting for like big items before boots. Kunkka has got double bracer armlet, no boots. Puck. Okay, he's got brown boots, but he went for the urn bottle first. Like, is boots like an
engage on? Yeah, two needs move speed, right? If we all have a gentleman's agreement that no one will buy boots, then who needs them?
Or we'll never deward.
Never deward. No one ever picks an invis here again. Why would we need sentries? Okay, Pear's in trouble here, and Jace is on top of him, immediately destroys him as well. They go in with the puck, and they actually got a lot of damage off of the Kunkka, but he has that armor, he hasn't even activated yet. In comes the Kunkka, run! They're gonna control arm, and they'll pick him off for free in the end. Didn't even need the shark this time. Jaws too late.
Just no tools to do damage yet. Need the Sand King to start joining these engagements, but he's still trying to get his Blink Dagger. Brown boots. Yeah, but brown boots, Blink.
This is potentially great news for them, but they just don't have the damage once again. He's building it up. A beautiful little bit of work there by Psyche. He's gonna walk it off. No, this is not fair. You're supposed to die here. He's just toggling in front of his face. He'll get off the burrow strike again, and this time Lion's there. And he gets the impale off, and that should be the kill. Should be the kill. Will be the kill.
But they lose their TB. Same time. On the other side of the map.
What is the
they
problem?
Draft is
Like,
they draft it doesn't have damage, and Puck is not going for this Witchblade build that we've seen like really popular. He's gone for the nice game Blink Dagger, so they're going to keep lacking damage for quite a while. Lion is not level 6 yet. Hoodwink is level 8, and we've yet to see a sharpshooter. Hoodwink needs to start playing with Sankey.
I mean maybe that's what it is. It's just like you don't have levels in your sports. Like, you know, that's the weird thing. It's like you have a level 5 line at 12 minutes. Like, there's your problem, right?
Also, like brown boots, Blink Dagger at 13 minutes for an offlane Sanking. It's not horrible, but he's third on net worth actually. No,
that's what I mean. This feels like a really slow game of Dota. Like, they've been kills, but they've taken so long to happen that's almost slowed down the game around it.
Yeah, I don't know. They're itemizing extremely strange. What is the specific reason for this urn on the puck? Why not go Witchblade? Like, why this urn? I guess it's for Oracle later in the game when he's on target, that they can't just like heal him back up to full if you've got a vessel. But Oracle can purge it. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
they're going top.
He's playing the drums in top lane, will commit to it though, goes in onto his opponent, and this time Gambino will be brought down. They even commit the finger for that one. I think that was for the stack, but I'm actually not a fan of that one. Like, the stack's nice, but it's a long time without it. You think it was survive?
He had 21 charges. After they dropped all that, if he didn't use finger, he would have survived.
Alright, well, gets the notAhero
HP.
But look what's happening here. Chad is trying to bring down the Ancients, and he's got a friend, but it's not a friend, it's Jace. And Jace will engage onto Chad, and the damage there, but the burrow strike, although it was good, it just didn't buy enough time. They dropped the sentry on top of Lightning's head as well, as they try to finish the job with armor. And they're even going to commit the Dream Court this, but they haven't been able to finish the job just yet. Eventually, he should fall. The false promise comes out. They're not going to be able to finish the job with Nyx. And Lucio Orb flies through, but in comes the commander, the Coco Rum, and Jace lives. They lose their Terrabit, and he lost Metamorphosis, and Lightning's going to fall next potentially. Burrow strikes onto the low ground. He's being charged down by Nemi and Co. Gets dusted up, now in a lot of trouble. Does not have any options available to him. He'll be rooted as well by Nibbling Monkey, and of course his fortune's end, and that is the end of the Sand King. But look how slow these things are happening. Like they
need
could
damage.
not kill. Yeah.
They need damage badly.
Get the Witchblade to go like Dagon Puck, you know, that's what they needed here.
No, if he had the Witchblade there, he would have probably killed the Nyx with the second hit. But because he survived through it, and they're also going on this Nyx assassin. They're not going the.
Forget that, they're going on the Kunkka bottom. But remember that thing about not having damage? Now look at Kunkka. 2 braces, Ogre Axe, Armlet of Mordigan,
and a Coco Ruff going through. They're going to try bringing it onto him regardless, though. Miriam in the
No
sideline.
foil.
They're committing everything right now. 10 seconds the call. It's probably going to be up by the time they finish this fight. Sharpshooter will connect. They're going to bring in Chad. This man is still alive. In comes the Oracle to save the deal, and they're doing a lot of damage. That was not a false promise, bear in mind. There's a regular heal, but they haven't been able to finish him off. And guess what? They
Oh, he
bring
missed
down
that.
the line in the back line. Looks like he
Kuka
just
missed
was
that.
that a tick damage and armor toggle, probably.
Armor toggle and the acorn bounced.
Well, I'm in trouble here. He's going to be caught up by the Viper Strike as well. No way out. Does he get the save from Chad? He thought about it. Potentially going to hit him with the Sunder. But he's going to have to back off instead. And in the end, they pick up the Kunkka, but it cost them 2. His line was brought down by Jace on the back lines.
Ooh, they need to get items up. I know they're trying to like hunt themselves back into the game. But Puck is now opting for a Vessel. It's not going to work. He's playing against the Oracle. He's going to purge it. I'm not sure what the thought process here is with the Vessel. And if someone was going to get it, why not just let the Hoodwink or the Sanking get it?
It's one of those like interchangeable ones. I almost feel like you always have a sport you either wants to go Solar Crest or Spirit Vessel, right? Like it's kind
Well,
of...
even the Sanking. Like Sanking's got Blink Tag, he can go Vessel straight away afterwards. It gives him HP. Or Puck. Middle. He's going to get X'd.
He's bouncing around, trying to get around Psycho, who does manage to back off though. Respect the damage that is now available. But again, such a tanky hero. I mean, as you mentioned, he was brought down to the tick and an armor toggle. It's one of those embarrassing mistakes, but we gotcha, we gotcha. Pezbok goes in the bottom lane and wants to bring down Gambino. A little bit of an easier target, I guess, but even so, he's 1300 HP and he has a full Hood of Defiance. In comes the support though. They're going to drop down the Coco Run. Miriam clever though, uses his sharpshooter to actually get out of the way, but they will get X back and they're doing a lot of damage to Sanking on silence. He wants to be able to jump in with his epi. He's got a level 2 one available to him, but he's just ticking away. Finally, we'll have the opportunity to start channeling if he wants it. Pez hiding. He's got Shadow Amulet, but that's going to be given away because of the Haunt coming in from Nemi. They know he's there. He's going to try and put a little bit of distance for himself. In fact, he might just get away with it. Clever little bit of work here from Pezbot. But of course, they've lost 2, Puck as well as Hoodwink falling in this engagement, and
I still
definitely
think
might
he's
still be
there.
But the channel coming out from Lightning, he's playing his drums. He wants to think about going, and he looks like he's potentially going to wait, keeping us all interested here in the bottom lane. What is he waiting for? Maybe the Hoodwink come back, drops down the Sandstorm. He's going to try finish off this creep wave before he can deal damage to the tower. Good bit of awareness there, but then that's going to be all she wrote for this fight. Punx still looking very, very comfortable at the moment. And I just gotta say, I think Nibbling Monkey has been excellent.
Hold it, just look at Terrorblade top quickly. Look at Terrorblade top. How scared he's playing.
Yeah.
That's been his life for the last 2 minutes.
I also
Standing
don't like
in the tree line.
Mm.
No, because you're losing the XP. You don't get.
Go ahead. Finish my words, because I was gonna say that. Is that like I'm actually
You learned that the hard way.
yeah.
Like,
well,
too much with your illusions, and then suddenly you 4 levels behind because you throwing away lane creep XP. Oh wait, here we go. Big fight.
they do re-engage here towards mid lane. They'll pick up the Oracle. He's been a real pain. I was actually gonna say, ironically, I think it was like a Naga or something we were playing with, and I guess it's kind of somewhat irrelevant. But the irony is that I really like Terrorblade. It's one of my go-to carries. And the thing about Terrorblade is that one of the things you want to do is that, yes,
Hello?
you can... Oh, sorry, yeah, they're going to catch the Psycho, but do they have the damage this time? They're going to try to bring him down. The neutral will go wide. They have so much disable that he is standing there. They commit the Metamorphosis, but he gets saved out. The Burrow Strike said, this time surely it's enough. They are making sure. They're making real sure. The Coco Run, though, will come through. It's not going to be nearly enough to save him. What? No! What? How? I mean, I know the Coco... Like, I know Coco Run reduces damage, but, like, you're taking all the damage first. Like... Seems ridiculous, but it will re-engage. Nice bit of work there, and this time the sharpshooter comes in, backed up by the Epi. Now we're seeing an aura that I like. They're going to go back onto Gambino. He's taking a lot of damage. He gets caught up by the Impale. The Barrow Strike seconds away. They won't even need it. Finally, Aura give us something to cheer for them about. But it's not over just yet. Jason Co are interested in this one. They go in on the Sand King, and they might be able to bring him down. He gets sundered though by Chad. Beautiful bit of work. Barrow Strike goes wide though. They will re-engage once again to the Spectre. He's got a Radiance, mind you, so he'll do damage to his friends as well. Lightning has to back off. He's in a little bit of trouble here, getting helped out by the little squirrel. Lightning blinks away with a bit of fancy footwork with the Yule Scepter. I enjoy that. But listen, sorry, I want to go back to Terrorblade. Something important I wanted to point out about this one is that, like, I actually appreciate when you had, like, the old school Naga, for example. You could just push out side lanes and never actually put your hero threat. Seems like in Darkseer, where you never have to put your hero in harm's way. But Terrorblade is a stats-based hero, and how do you get stats? From levels. So it's one of the most crucial.
In the past with that is you used to get XP from like when your units killed things, even if you weren't close by, you used to get XP. Same with Nature's Prophet Treants. Doesn't work like that anymore. And secondary, how creep waves function has been changed. You want to be in range for lane creeps because jungle creeps XP has been nerfed. So lane creeps predominantly is your main XP source in the game. Oh wait, Oracle? Trouble?
Yeah, you got caught out by. I'm not sure if we got caught out by the sharpshooter, but they definitely knew he was there. But look, the thing is, I would just feel a lot better if you did a little bit more of this. Like, even if you're playing the jungle and setting out illusions, but farming the triangle the whole time. Like, you can farm this area here, and every time you hit sort of this point, look at where I'm drawing the minimap, you can then send out illusions to push out mid, right? Especially because there's a tier 1 tower still standing. It'll just bounce back reliably for you and keep you on your safe side.
But you're taking all that XP away from your team.
Well, either way, Miriam at the moment in trouble. He's going to be brought down by Nemi. He gets the stun off first, though. Lightning's still in trouble. Gets X, will decide to use the Yules, but it just lines up the torrent potentially. In the end, though, he is able to barrow strike out of it. He's still in trouble here as they get off a pretty decent green pull onto Jace. Will buy a little time for Lightning. He's actually chaining the AP on the back line. He'll go in, he gets everybody. If he gets up for a big barrow, this might be the fight they need. They use the glyph as well to get extra damage out, but it's not enough. They don't break down. Well, never mind. What was that?
TB just walks in. Like, all those heroes
Goku comes in. He wants to find more out of the deal here. He's trying to tag Nibbling Monkey as well, but he's got to be careful because Psycho is still there. He misses with the torrent, and he does also, once again, facing such a high level skill. Use it, but they managed to catch off psychic damage inside. And Pear's going to control him for a little while longer, but hitting uphill against Akunka, not going to work out for you. Does also commit the reflection. He's got the Sunder though. He wants to finish the job on Psycho. He's very, very close to doing so, but Psycho armor toggling away. He's going to have to deal with the Spectre now. In fact, even Nemi is going to back this one. Had the Blade Mill up as well, but they're going to bring in a little bit of extra support here. Miriam on the sidelines, the illusions come in, but that should be all she wrote. But it's looking a little bit better. I actually think that, you know, Aura look like they have teeth this time around, and that is good.
Yeah, they're starting to claw their way back into the game. It's only 5k 22 minutes. The previous game at this stage we saw a much bigger lead. They do have still a bit of a way to go, but they are making the right movements, the right plays. But they're still lacking that last little bit of damage, But we saw
hold on, mid lane, you're gonna catch out Jace here. He pops this by Carapace, but Aegis is bouncing around as the stuns come through, and they should be able to finish it pretty easily and do. Sharpshooter, not required, but Miriam wants to bounce back or something.
Like, if you look at the items, your mid puck is sitting with Spirit Vessel, Brown Boots, and a Blink Dagger. Not Treads, or Phase, or Travels. He's got Spirit Vessel, Brown Boots, and a Blink Dagger, and he's going for the Witchblade now. His timings is extremely delayed, and they're going to lack damage until this puck really comes online. Because he's getting to a stage in the game. I guess Spectre's not a hero that wants to be, but oh jeez, did you see what Nemi has gone on the Spectre? For the old school spec build, Blade Mail Radiance into Manta.
Well, I just want to say, I don't know if I actually noticed that earlier that he's going Radiance. But... So I wanted to make a point which is really weird. I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but when I see the win probability, it's 100% to Punx. But it looks like it's very bugged to me. So maybe I'll misobserve and can tell me what it actually is. But to me, it looks like 100%. But I don't believe that for a second. I know that in the famous words of a notAhero, he'll tell me that something like, yeah, it favors Spectre, for example. But it ain't 100%. There you go, see?
Dota Plus like Spectre. He's
but
got
I refuse
Radiance.
to believe that at 0 minutes in this game, it was like 100% that Punx got
Dota
this.
Plus was like, Spectre's got Radiance, game is done.
No, it was 0 minutes.
Oh, and he got the next.
Base. They do manage to catch him out, get off the intel as well, but again, immediate bit of support coming in
on
the back. They're pump faking Lightning's ulti again. He will drop down the Sandstorm, but Jace happy to mess around with him straight back. They drop down a Sentry on his head. Now they have two, but they've got to be careful here because they do manage to bring it down, but they manage to get the double stun out. Again, Lightning as well as Pizbon in a little bit of trouble. The Burrow Strike will come out. He's still in the Sandstorm. The damage being a Nemi wants to bring down the Sand King, and he will. The Sharpshooter does connect, but they get the False Promise off onto the Spectre. Conquer the back lines to make sure they stay alive. Pizbon very, very low and falls as well. Gambino and Co in trouble. They're going to have to potentially back off because the buyback from the Scorpion, but guess what? Looks like I lied. It's not in trouble. They're going to take the fight again. They do manage to
He's
get off the
got his epicenter.
reflection though, but guess what? In comes the Sand King. He gets a pretty decent epic, keeps himself alive a little while longer, but they haven't got the fight they needed. We do see the Thunder come off. He's trying to finish off and will finish off the Spectre, but he is all alone. He's being controlled. Once finished off, Jason's pulled back immediately. Psycho controls it with Torrent. In comes the Impel as well. Nowhere for him to move. Almost toggling through it, just can't get out of it. And then Shard, the Aghanim Septic, the Torrent Storm doing so much work. Oh, hello! Hey, Pezbot, nice to see you here. Vermaak comes out, does manage to get off the Hex. Careful, Psycho. He might be able to get you with an Impel, and might be able to get the kill on you! It's so close! It's so itchy now! What? I'm surprised in Omen toggle again, a little bit of a mistake, a little bit of a misplay, but Gambino trying to finish the job though. Pezbot is still just glimmer caping around, this time around, gets a little bit of support, and beware, because there is a potential sharpshooter to come out as well. The big monkey was turning his attention to Pezbot. Does get the root off as well. They're going to pull him straight back as he should be able to finish the job, and does. But now the sharpshooter line can't miss from that range, and he will start hitting himself out. In comes the Illusion Orb. Going to have to be beaten down the Arnold Flash in the way though, but it looks like they still want this fight. Goes in, manages to get the Scream Call out onto Gambino. This fight is still going on at the moment, and he gets the support he needs. Groov's coming in from the back line there. Should have a stun available in a couple of seconds. Needs to make sure he connects though, as Gambino tries to get away from the tree line. They do have the load off. We're going to match his cash on the short sparkle, and they'll beat up. That was a really long fight, and I think my brain wants to tell me that Aura won that. But it was so long I'm struggling. notAhero, the Aura won that, right? Like, I know 4 dead now, right? But I feel like
yeah,
the
Netflix
buyback
down
and
to
stuff.
5k. After like at the initial stages, it was like 7k when that fight like looked terrible for them. But then Pezbot comes in with the cheekiest line play ever. FICO damage messed up because he could have definitely armor toggled that tower hit. He didn't do it. He died. Then Woodwink respawns and comes back in and
The catch out the puck. Gonna be brought down.
they're lacking damage though so bad. It just feels like it's taking them forever to kill a target. We saw even bottom as well. They caught that Viper after that initial fight and it was just right click, right click, right click, right click, and until their spells come back off CD.
Yeah.
They do have this TB. He is catching up. He's only 2k behind Spectre. That is concerning because Terrorblade like farms way faster than Spectre does. But Spectre's gone for this Blade Mail Radiance build, so he can actually compete with the Terrorblade's farm. And he counters
It's your favorite item, by the way.
Oh, Scotty.
No? Try again. Your favorite item.
Who?
Nemi. I'm being facetious, by the way. Does that help?
No, but on Spectre it makes sense. Because the more HP you have, the more dispersion you do. But when people start building hearts on Axe and Centaur, I want to pull my hair out of my head because you can just get an overwhelming blink and other items for your team.
Oh, you know, Enchanted Quiver replacing an Imclaw doesn't sound too bad for the Quiver, but he actually doesn't want it.
Sends it back. Sends it back.
Right, hold on. He's going to find the Hoodwink, but he doesn't get with this Torrent, so they could potentially turn this one around. He actually could with the BKB as well for that. In comes the Horn from the Spectre. This fight's going to be messy. We'll try and do his bit to go. Miriam takes a little bit of damage from Jace, who does manage to back off for the time being. With the fight actually raging on, it's back towards the root in the top. They're going to catch out the Sankey and they catch him out with the Impel as well. They'll finish the job, but they do get the return kill onto the next assassin. Chad has popped his Metamorphosis, so they definitely have to commit to this fight. He does not have buyback, by the way, so potentially a lot of damage can be done here if Punx press the issue. It looks like they're going to respect it for the time being. They're backing off, buying a little bit of time. Witchblade out onto the puck finally. He's also going for an Aghanim Scepter next. Gambino is staying in the front line. Looks like they still want to potentially push the issue.
I definitely thought Punch was going to go Roach there. Because he just killed 2 hero.
Yeah. I mean...
So, there's a little whisper in our ears that the roll is happening right now for the limited edition EGL shirt.
Oh no. Oh no. This is a problem. I think we need a reroll, guys. Congratulations to the one, the only, the owner of XD Gaming, Devin Lombard. It's actually Devin Lombard Bovie, if I'm not mistaken, by the way. So congratulations. Obviously, Devin, you have to be here. The irony, if you don't, I will never let you live it down. So between you and I love you, but I also hope that you're, you know, doing the dishes right now or something.
Good old Devin taking it. He's gonna, but knowing him, he's gonna put some XD badges on that shirt. He's gonna customize it.
I like it. I mean, you know what would be nice if he wins. If XD win, then he really gets the opportunity to customize, right? He'll have the XD edition.
The XD edition EGL One shirt.
And he is
okay,
there,
well,
by the way.
that's
So obviously we're a little bit in the future, so this is probably only going to get this now. But congratulations, Devin. A lot of love for you, man. So congratulations. Enjoy the t-shirt. Welcome to T-shirt Gang. Mid lane, they're going to catch out Jace. They're going to commit the illusion orb. They also do have the engagement coming. The Kunkka there. Is this time? No. They managed to go straight back in. They get the epicenter off as well, but it's not going to be enough damage. Psycho also will have the BKB. But he backs off. He's looking for the X. He's going to use it onto the Sand King. Hard tower to bring down this point. Nice little stun comes from Miriam in the backline. They'll get the Impale Elf onto Nemi, which allows the Sand King to come with a double burrow strike as well. Nice little bit of work. Look at where Omen is positioned on the back lines, but they catch him out. They're going to force him back. He came all the way through. He's in a little bit of trouble here. Lightning will drop the Sandstorm, but they do manage to keep these elusive heroes alive for the time being. They are so low, but they are back and they are alive. Potentially they can reset here, but they've used a lot. They've used a lot of LTs, and this fight is not won by any means. One thing they do have is Metamorphosis in the pocket, and they do have a fresh Skadi on Chad. So maybe
they
a
just
sign
like
of hope for
their
them.
target choices are just being like extremely like off. They keep running at this Kunkka and Spectre, which are extremely tanky, and Oracle is just doing whatever he wants in these team fights. He has had no pressure applied to them.
He's actually been my MVP this game. He just because it's also our position, right? He's not making it easy.
I agree. Yeah, I agree, but
Hold on. Roshan is on. The finger comes out. This is going to be close. Roshan's going to fall. The Kunkka run goes through. It won't be snatched, but they will get an opportunity. You get a great engagement off here. The backline's Gambino doing bad damage, but the Sunder is there. They'll be able to finish off the Viper. Bonus strike comes onto Nemi. He's alone. Nemi in trouble here. They get the Dream Call off onto the Kunkka. He's trying to buy a little bit of time. He wants suspecting it out, but they get the reflection down. Nibbling Monkey going to try to keep his hopes alive here. They'll get the engagement off onto the line. Lightning Wing try to bail him out, so he gets brought down instead. Nibbling Monkey doing work here. This arm comes off onto Terraplane, which means he just pound into him. He gets brought back with the X, and now Chad in trouble, and a huge amount of trouble. He's brought down. Om has to back off. He's going to try and get out of this one, but they turn that fight like gods. Punx did so well. And
is he going to go for the stun on the Kunkka here?
Managed to get out, but there are some problems now. I don't know how I feel about this, because they denied the Aegis in a way. They do get a couple of kills for it, but it's not the fight they were really looking for. Oh, may have overplayed his hands. He's been caught out by the Spectre and potentially brought down. The buyback comes in from the line. They want to try to bring down Nemi. Shorty does not follow. He does follow. This is incredibly dangerous. He phase shifts as well. Will bail himself out. They do fighting on top of Nibbling Monkey. They have to respect the fact that there's a Spectre on the front lines. They'll catch out the Pez bot line, and he takes a lot of damage from Jace. Double force stocks going to keep on. Epi sent to the back line. Can they make this happen? No! The Oracle bails him out, and even though damage comes in from the back line onto him, the damage is done. They do have Psycho leashed up for the very least. The damage on Punx wasn't enough. Nemi and Psycho stay alive, and this is the thing we were talking about a moment ago. Like, yes, there's not a lot of pressure on Nibbling, but in that fight, the pressure was on, and man, did he perform.
Yeah, no, he's playing extremely well, but they have to kill him in the beginning of these. But he is literally just making himself magic immune. He's casting Phased Edicts on himself, because it's not Oracle, you don't really need to be right clicking. And any spells from Puck or Sand King or Hoodwink that is being thrown in his direction, it's just getting completely negated. He's got this Glimmer Cape, he's got a fluffy hat and a full wand. So 1800 HP Oracle, and that's magic immune almost permanently. So he's playing very well. But Aura needs to a way to get on top of this Oracle. Their win condition is take this Oracle out of fight, because we've seen that they have enough damage to kill the Spectre. They have enough damage to kill this Kunkka, but he's getting an open false promise almost every single fight, and that's the deciding factor in these, because those cores are surviving.
Well, right now, I want to put everyone's just position everyone from what exactly is going on here. Oh, hold on, Jace is thinking about it, but he's got backup. Although he's got backup of his own, they're going to catch up his bot potentially here. They do commit to it again. A nice 4-star there, going to be assisted by Miriam as well. Illusion will fly through, so Jace will feel
it's extremely frustrating though. You catch a hero like that that's overextending and you can't kill him.
Which one? Be more specific.
Yeah, But that Nyx just ran right at their faces, and they got a good bushwhack on top of him, and then you can't kill him. It's extremely frustrating. Like, he's got a high HP pool at the moment. You probably have to Finger of Death and Sharpshooter him to actually kill him. 1,830 HP. Whew. And then you like risk the chance of him maybe carapacing it. This Nyx is making.
Well, he's going
There he
again.
is.
Base in the backline. They should have seen him, but Pairsblock realized he's in trouble. This double 4-staff is, you know, it's actually been pretty good. They've kept people alive there, but they will lose their tier 2 tower mid. They are, of course, not playing into an Aegis because they denied it, but they're having a hard time dealing with these tanky heroes. And they're just trying to provide space for the Terrid. And at the moment, you can see pushing out those lanes, but they will go to the back line where Lightning has been caught out here. They miss with the Impale. He gets the Sandstorm off, which probably is enough to buy him time, and it is. To buy him time to get out of harm's way. He'll survive. And actually, a fair amount of good work being done by Chadi. I mean, he's doing it in the almost the support manner. If you hide in the tree lines and use your illusions to push up, but it's actually working out quite nicely. They have 2 siege wagons out. So it's going to buy them a handy little bit of time. I really do think that, like, this game is in one of those awkward spaces where, like, 1 good fight doesn't win it for you, but 2 just might. So Aura's still in this, but they're going to get rid of the Nibbling Monkey.
They needed like another item on this puck, and I'm not sure what he's going to go next. So we've seen a lot of pucks at this stage of the game go Aeon Disc or Dagon, but I think he needs boots of travel before he can go either of those. He needs to be able to apply pressure onto the map, but the enemy team has a Nyx Assassin. Oh, they're talking about the Nyx Assassin. They got him.
They got him right here, and they get him with the Virus Strike, but they stacked the Earth Spike. Oh no!
And the Oracle just makes
oh no! I need a meme to play right now, because that does not feel good. They re-engage though with the Illusory Orb, and they're going to manage to back off though, but that one hurts. The line cooldown is still 9 seconds away. And
like it's so frustrating because this Nyx is running at your heroes. You need to do something to stop it, but Nibbling Monkey is untouched.
they're going to re-engage though. Again, the double 4-staff buying Pezbot an extra life. But again, Nami on the front lines. There's a lot of trees. Yeah, deal with all of them. We'll block out the lane with our acorn shots, I think is the plan here. Nami though, very happy to just, wow, this man's not taking damage. And you can see with Nibbling behind him, he doesn't even have to use like Fate's Edict or anything. He can just literally Purifying Blades and stack them up, because with a heart, there's just so much heal coming through at the moment. We'll put him back to the tree line. They're trying to buy a little bit of space, but Gambino just right-clicks down the tower, and they have not responded to this wall at all. Bottom lane though, bear in mind, Terrorblade is trying to do some work there. He's pushing up. He gets caught up by Jace. He's going to BKB. This is interesting though. Allows him to get back into the fight, but now he doesn't have said BKB. Is he enough to force back Punx? They might realize this and be willing to re-engage, and that's exactly what they do. On the front lines, Nemi will go. The torrent will connect onto Miriam, who goes back in. The blink forward comes in from the Kunkka. That's how you use a BKB. He says he stands inside the epicenter, and the damage is done. Lightning falls. They're trying to do what they can, but unfortunately the damage from the Terrorblade just is not realistically going to harm them. He's just laying in, but it's not happening. And he's taking a lot of damage. The Sunder will be used early, and they should be able to bring down Cherry. He gets forced off back again, but they're going to need another one. And this time, it's not available. There's Glimmer caping up, but you'll get brought down regardless. A beautiful Earth Spike catches out 3. But there's just no way. They just do not have the damage.
Yeah,
and this is double racks at the very least. And bear in mind that Aura are in huge amounts of trouble here. They're trying to stand the ground. This is their lives on the line here. And they don't manage to get into the fountain with the illusory orb, which means they lose another 2. And unfortunately for Aura, I think it is out with a whimper right now, because Punx are going to punish this unbelievably
hard. They're going to take everything. They're going to take everything, because they knew if they was buybacks, they would use fun. 50 seconds, no TB, 30 seconds, no line and Hoodwink. Sanking is up and Puck has a buyback, but I don't think these 2 heroes are going to be able to defend it. There's no damage items on them. Sanking's got Yules and Lotus Orb, both defensive items. And Puck has got this Spirit Vessel with no charges and an Egg.
I mean, they're trolling around now. I mean, that's the point of the game that we're at here. I really do want to make a comment though, is that it's sad to see Aura go out in this fashion. It really is. But at the same time, bear in mind that this is a side that also gave us some of our best moments at EGL One.
I mean, the victory over White Rabbit Gaming was a great one that we were going to remember for a very, very long time. And it is a testament to how good Punx are that they could do this to Aura and make them feel... I mean, let's be honest right now. What happened here was, we've been referring to these guys as the wolves, right? The lower bracket wolves. And we had the little piggy. And the little piggy invited the wolf into its household, opened its doors, and just said, come at me, bro. And, well, the wolf was found
laying
lacking.
this house down.
No, they are not. In fact, I think I just found out that pigs are carnivores because they're having wolf for dinner.
Oh, jeez.
But hey, but once again, I want to go back in time for a moment and say, yeah, we're having a little bit of fun at the expense of Aura, but actually really appreciate the fact that this is a team that's exceptional in this tournament, and they're going to probably do even better in the future. So this one's decided. We're going to call that one. But hopefully we'll get to see the return of Aura in an EGL One Season 2. I'm not confirming anything by any means, but you know, we can all hope. But let's cast this one to the death. Chad in the front line. He's already used the Sunder. He's trying to deal with Devin man to man, but he's going to be in a situation where he runs out of BKB and runs out of time. Punx clean up right here, and unfortunately, there really is only one last thing to do. Well, two if you like fountain diving, but it's one or the other. They managed to get the engagement onto Jace, but they're going to lose the Sanking, most likely 1 or 2 more hits required, and there it is. And the throne will fall as well. Congratulations to Punx. You have a bit of a date with an interesting squad. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be, I think, a classic in my mind. Punx versus XD is one of the ones I really enjoy, and that's exactly what we're going to get. Punx versus XD, DUC versus Frostbite is what remains in the lower bracket. And of course, waiting up high is NG versus Sinister 5. But man, it feels so sad. I think that's it. Those are all the teams that remain in EGL 1 now. We're really in the deep end.
Yo, it's getting very, very tight at the moment. That Energy Sin 5 matchup at the top was going to be a cruncher because Energy's kind of got the upper hand there, but we had the privilege of speaking to Castaway tonight, and it doesn't sound like they're ready for any second or third place finishes. So that's going to be monster games. And then Punx looking back to like form. They caught a bit of a wobble in the upper bracket, and this performance by them tonight looked extremely smooth. It looked polished, and I think that XD matchup versus Punx, because there's also a little bit of a rematch happening here because Punx knocked XD out of one of the previous tournaments.
Correct.
In the year, and I don't think XD wants that to happen again.
I just got to make a point about that as well, is that so in the scene at the moment is really interesting because although Energy is sitting on top, there have been 3 victors of, let's call them, significant to major events in South Africa, that being XD, NG, and Sins 5. They've all won things in recent history. I mean, it feels like a long time ago, but it's probably been like the last 2 months. It hasn't been that long a period of time. And all 3 sides have won, like, important
Sinister 5 hasn't won anything.
No, they have won. I can't remember. I'm sure. You know, the Georges of this world will help us out, but all 3 of them have won significant events in recent time. And with that in mind, like the one that XD actually won, the following event was the one that Punx beat them. So they got knocked out off the podium by Punx. So I'm sure that XD will relish the opportunity to take down Punx again. And of course, Punx will return in kind. I'm sure they would love to knock out XD because these are now what we're looking at. We're talking about 4. There's 6 teams left. 4 of them are the invited sides. You know, so that's pretty significant. And obviously for Punx, who are... they're the 4th team in those top 4, right? That's where they sit. From their perspective, they would love to just, you know, change things up a bit. They want to get on the podium. I mean, top 3 finish at EGL 1 is a phenomenal and memorable and beautiful experience to share with your teammates, right? So they would want that, even if it's not. And once you're looking at 3, once it's secured that 3, all of a sudden you start looking at like, well, what's 102, you know? So I do think that there's great opportunity for Punx to go a little bit further this time around. But with that said, we do say goodbye to Aura Gaming this evening. I really am very, very
keen on this. I think that we are looking at another one of these teams that definitely have themselves achieved so much in this tournament. I don't want them to end on the note of, oh, we lost the Punks. Let's take a moment to appreciate the fact that this is a side that knocked out the White Rabbit Gaming, a MGO that is star-studded, a team of players that are truly, some of South Africa's absolute best and have achieved pretty phenomenal things in the scene. They have a player who has won probably the classical biggest event in South Africa, and has, of course, been part of our scene since Dota 2 really started. So the fact that they were able to do that, that they were able to push a side like that out of the tournament is truly significant. And that's the thing that I think Aura need to take away from this tournament. It's not this loss where Punks were dominant, but rather that Aura walk away with this going like,
Go
guys,
download the EGL highlight clip. Aura
there you go.
play it every morning.
100%. But yeah, anyways, with that out the way, with everything going, of course, I believe that our next week we're going to be obviously taking on DUC versus Frostbite and XC versus Punk, which we already know. So obviously man, that's good. How good does that feel? I mean, I just want to set the precedent for that for a moment. So Frostbite, they're the lone wolf now, right? Like that's what we're left with, the lone wolf in this situation. And they're obviously going to have a very interesting matchup against DUC because they've already played DUC in the main event, so they would love to rewrite history here.
And this is the money matches, because one of the top 6 lands outside of that money bracket.
Wow, yeah. So that is quite a thing. And then of course we will have our next matchup being the matchup obviously of XD versus Punks, which I'd say no more. I think that's really what
these two sides meeting each other in the lower bracket is kind of a shame, but someone had to be there.
Yeah. And then just to think that all waiting for us is like the real treat that's going to be there is obviously Sinister 5 versus NG, which is also coming away soon. I mean, it's going to be if I haven't messed this up the week following, but wow. It's weird because I feel kind of sad because when I think of how few matches are actually left in the duration of this tournament, I'm also happy because those matches are all so good, and the storylines and just memories that are about to be made are so great. But anyways, cool. notAhero, last thoughts, last words. We're getting out of here.
No, we're getting out of here. Good night to everyone. Thank you for tuning in.
We're just going to stare at the camera awkwardly. Just stare at it awkwardly. We're not going to say goodbye. I'm going to stare you down.
Not doing that.
Well, I'm doing it. You can't leave me hanging.
Nah, you can stare at the camera. I'm okay over here. Watch you stare at the camera, but like not staring.
Can't get good help these days. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was EGL One. We hope you have a fantastic evening further. We look forward to seeing you next week, and of course, man, as we were wrapping up, it's going to be so damn cool. Anyways, good night. We'll see you soon.